Peter Jamieson is a lifestyle and action sports photographer, filmmaker, and professional mountain biker. He's worked all around the world, making videos with a variety of professional athletes and companies, such as Cliff Bar, Red Bull, REI, Specialized, Dakine, and others. At 21, he lives full-time in his van, building jumps and riding bikes with his friends. Please welcome Peter Jamieson.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning, skier.
Oh, hey.
I'm pretty good right now.
Welcome to Worlds.
I am so sick of doing nothing like productive. Like I was so over it, and I just love talking to people and just talking shit and whatever. So
Yeah.
I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna start a podcast. And I've interviewed 7 people. I interviewed a guy who worked on The Amazing Race. A guy a pro skier named Tuck Graham, a ski jumper named Ben Barrand, a guy who worked for Quibi in 60 Minutes, which was interesting. And then you, and then next week, and then a couple other people, but you wouldn't know them. And then next week, I'm interviewing a sheriff or a patrol officer for the local police department in Orange about like all the current shit. So that'll be interesting. So it's like I'm doing like outdoor industry stuff, like skiing, biking, surf, whatever, but also like trying to work in other parts just to like widen my knowledge sphere a little bit. Cause like I kind of get stuck in the whoever I follow is what I consume. Yeah. And then that's all I get. And then I don't learn anything new. And I feel like I need to reach out a little bit. So I'm going to do with the things that I know and the industries I know, like what I just mentioned, but also try and do new stuff too.
Dude, sick, man. Good on you.
Yeah, thanks, dude. I'm psyched so far. It's been super fun. I'm gonna do 10 and then start releasing them bi-weekly, so twice a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, so twice a week, bro.
Dude, I'm gonna give her, bro. I'm just gonna grind because I don't know, or even more. I honestly could see the issue is not doing them because theoretically it's not like when you go shoot. Like when you go shoot, it's like this huge thing, but I can DM you, come up with like do research for a couple hours, come up with questions, and then record it, post it, and that's like it. Yeah. And theoretically, and there's like no startup fee. Like I bought a mic and I'm using Zoom, which is free. Yeah. And then I paid like $100 for distribution, but I can get it on like Apple Podcasts
Stitcher or something.
No, it's called I use what's it called? Like Start
told me all about it.
Spreaker. It's called Spreaker.
Yeah.
But I use Spreaker and I can get it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, like the whole 9 yards. So so I'm pretty psyched, but so I'm just doing that, and then I definitely want to start like making more commercial shit just to make money. Fair enough. It's been hard. So I'm definitely gonna get into that, but I've really been liking the podcast stuff recently, and I'm gonna do 2 a week for now. Yeah, that's my goal,
dude. So sick. Good COVID activity.
Good COVID activity. Yeah, and it's easy. It was funny. I'm doing the one with the police officer, right? And I was like, oh, like, do you want to do it over Zoom? He's like, well, let's just do it in person. And I was like, that's kind of funny because in California, like the restrictions are like pretty heavy. And if anything, like a law enforcement officer wants me to do it in person. And I was like, that's so interesting. Mm-hmm. But I'm just showing up to the police department at 8 a.m. and just freaking sending. So,
dude,
it's going to be an interesting experience. It's going to be loose, dude. But dude, I'm excited. Sick. I'm nervous for it, but it's like broadening my it's hard for me to like scare myself by just talking to someone nowadays, but by doing that and like asking him like serious questions about current events, like I feel like that's definitely pretty.
Dude, I think you're gonna learn a lot more than you think when you fucking sit in the hot seat. Like, I think when you sit down and you start asking gnarly questions and seeing how he's reacting, you're going to be like, what did I get myself into? I think it'll be sick, though.
Dude, especially because he's been a patrol officer for 20 years.
Yeah. So he's not shit.
Dude, oh, yeah. And he told me, like, a couple little things about, like, his job so far. Like, so I live in Orange, which is, like, the city of Orange in Orange County. and there's 150,000 people in the city, and guess how many patrol officers they have total?
No idea. 10.
Yeah.
No way.
For 150,000 people, they have 10
actually
on the street. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah. So gnarly. So gnarly. And they've just been getting, I mean, they have a lot of support, but like as far as like training and stuff like that, it sounds like, I mean, I can't wait to talk to him, but it sounds like they've just been freaking screwed, dude. Like they've been taking L's left and right. It sounds like, but I'm excited to hear what he has to say.
Dude, that's gonna be sick, man. Like dude, you live in like a pretty high attention area. Like, dude, that one might bring in some sick listeners.
I hope so, dude. The issue, well, it's not the issue, but the way I want to do things is like I'm talking to you, but then I'm also talking to like a police officer from my local county, and then I'm talking
but local
to like
county happens to be like a pretty important area.
That's true, but also like I'm not. So I mean, part of like I read a lot about podcasting, and they talked about how it's good to have like, okay, well, you have a ski podcast or a bike podcast, and then your listeners are consistent and they'll consistently listen to your podcast because they're interested in the people that they're familiar with.
Right.
So it's like you were on the Stands Refresh podcast, and that's a biking podcast where they have people in the biking industry and bikers listen to it.
Yeah.
But then if I'm so many different things talking to so many different people. So then the only people that are tuning in, and hopefully they'll stay, but like someone like your audience could come listen to this, but then why would they be interested in like something else? You know what I mean? Because it's like,
you
I'm
never
not
know
just
though. There's so much consuming right now. Like even for me, I'm just digging like fucking 10 hours a day. Like I'm always looking for new shit, and you never know how you're going to find it. So I don't know. It'll be cool. It'll be sick to see like what kind of messages and stuff you get, or like, just like, I don't know what, I know that, I don't know. I got told the stats on one of my podcasts, and I think it was the guys just fibbing me. The HKT one, the first one I did, Buddy tried telling me I got 20,000 listens.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, I don't know if I believe you, but whatever. But like, yeah, dude, people are like, dude, it's fucking lockdown. People are just looking for shit, and I think it'll be sick to see like, you know, different people from like, you're gonna end up at like episode 25 with a super unique audience.
Yeah, that's the goal. And I think, I mean, one thing I can't deny that, because taking from so many different, like if his police buddies listen to it, and then the next week I have on some guy, like another guy I'm going to interview, his name is Dr. Dallas Barnes. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but he's from my hometown, and he owns an urgent care, and he went to New York City to like do emergency stuff during coronavirus. Yeah. So
dude,
like that's gonna be gnarly.
Some sick ones.
Yeah, I'm really excited, and then some thick ones. Yeah, but I'm psyched for the future, and I got some others. I'm not gonna spoil them, but no, I got like a couple lined up, like a couple months out too, from like people I reached out like on LinkedIn and shit. Dude, LinkedIn's the shit.
Dude, but, I would preach that. Dude, like if we were just chatting and you're like, how should I find people? I am the motherfucking, I'm linking into you. I'm going to connect to you on LinkedIn right now. Here, one sec. Here. No way. Zoom stays a thing. Are we already connected on LinkedIn?
I think so.
Here,
dude, I mean, I guaranteed I freaking reached out to you, dude. For sure.
Max. Yeah, we already are.
Dope.
Okay.
But
dude,
I reached
LinkedIn's
out to
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No,
what
you're
were you
good.
saying?
Do you well, yeah, but I've reached out to like a couple people that were like super far out from my sphere, especially because it's hilarious. Like there was this big deal guy that I reached out to. I don't want to say his name because I could tell you after we're done record. I started recording, by the way. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah. But I reached out to him, and he is like a big deal producer in the outdoor industry. And then it was funny. He responded. He's like, "Oh, like Max, I'd love to work something out. Like, how many listeners do you have on your podcast? And like, what's the reach and stuff?" And I'm like, I haven't started shit yet, dude. Like, I haven't even released a single episode yet. So we'll, and then, I mean, he didn't respond, which is okay. But it's just funny because my family's like, you need to reach out to like freaking Obama or like, you know, like bigger people, even within the outdoor industry. But I'm like, well, they have to benefit from it too. And if I haven't even released a freaking podcast yet, then like, what am I going to tell them? Like, just like talking to people and they're like, oh, how many people listen? It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's funny.
My immediate family. Oh, okay.
I interviewed my mom, my dad, and my sister.
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
I've done so far. But
Yeah.
no, but yeah, I've kind of been reaching out to people more within my like immediate social sphere that have also like I met you once a couple times. And but also you're a unique person with like different interesting things about you. So rather than just interesting talking to my sister, which she's cool too, but trying to make it a little more different than that.
Yeah, dude, you need to hit your 500 connections on LinkedIn, bro. Then you get the
Bro.
500 plus, and no one has
Bro.
any idea. You're 403, man.
Dude, are you at the 500 mark, my guy?
Dude, I have 1,500. That's some private information
What?
that makes the show.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, my dad has 20,000
How long has he had freaking LinkedIn, dude?
since like 2004.
Damn, he's on the freaking dude. All right, I'm not gonna lie. I see photos of you, like I've been researching you and stuff, and all the
Okay.
photos look like they're like 2 years old. Like there's that one photo of you with the Fox shirt on and your hat, and you look like you're like 15.
Which one is that? Here.
Wait. If you go to the Pink Bike article of you,
Okay, here. I'm
photo,
opening up right now.
it's the
The
photo
behind
of
the
that.
lens one.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, that kid's 14 in that photo.
Oh,
Does
wait,
not-
the opening photo. Chromag hat.
I
Fucking
think so.
it.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
Brett Reeder took that.
Really?
Yeah, 19. I was 19, just turned 19, and I got to go and stay with him in Sweden for a month. And I was like, yo, dude, can you take this picture? And we're just sitting, drinking coffee. He got a nice little lens flare there, and my nose looks broken as fuck, which I didn't break it. So my nose looks destroyed in that one. I actually think that is the photo on my website on the About section.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe that's why I don't get jobs anymore, because people think I'm 12.
I don't.
Oh, it is. It is. No way. Okay. Well,
Oh
you know
my
what
God.
I'm doing right when I finish this podcast?
I'm not hating, bro. I like
I'm
it. It's a
updating
nice
my About
photo.
section. Okay, dude, that's
Oh my
hilarious
gosh.
that you noticed that. That's so good.
That was the photo I saw everywhere.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Oh, funny.
Oh, dude, it's so funny talking to someone who I like know, but now is telling me that they researched me. He's like, fuck, I don't even know what's out there. Cause like my Google is just fucked, you know, I can't really research myself.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see what kind of stuff you pop up in these
Ooh.
next few minutes here.
Oh yeah, bro. I did some researching. I'm doing my job, man. I need to do my
Heck
job.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I won't tell you who, and because I don't want them to know. But I
Yeah.
did one of my podcasts and just showed up dry, bro, and just was like full send, no research, and it actually went really well. But yeah, I was like trying to sound like I knew what I was saying, but in reality, I had no idea what was going on, and I was just like coming up with shit on the fly. And I do not recommend that.
Dude, dicey, man. You're rolling the
Dicey,
dice in
bro.
the first couple episodes.
Yeah, I know. And now even like so I come up with these questions today and
Yeah.
like a little like over the past like week or so, but even then, like I think now it's to the point where I think that I should come up with them like a week in advance and then leave it and don't look at them and then go back and then like be more critical. Cause like I
Yeah,
can just like
okay.
rattle off shit,
Yeah.
but you want to like you don't want to just like ask because just because you can come up with questions doesn't mean that they're good ones and that
Right.
people give a fuck about what you're saying. So
Dude, look at you, man. You're getting your system down.
I'm trying, man. And it's cool how much, I mean, I've learned so much already after doing like 6 of these things. So it's nice. And also like, so the very first one I did was with the Amazing Race guy, and it just, I sounded like a really scared robot. Like I would ask a question and it just sounded like Q&A. Like it wasn't a conversation at all.
Yeah,
And I just was terrified. And definitely the conversational route is the way to go. And I'm learning how to do that more.
And then you get way more like personal, well, obviously emotion from whoever you're talking to, but like way better answers, I would think. Like if someone's feeling comfortable and like regardless if we were doing this, like I'm just gonna talk however the fuck I'd talk to you probably. Maybe I should probably not swear, but like other than that, it's like pretty casual. And then yeah, like the more it just feels like a personal conversation, the way better answers you're gonna get for sure.
Yeah, and the more comfortable the guest is, and then everything is better. Because like you look at like the best podcasts, and they're all conversational. It's not like, so where are you from? I am from Plymouth, Massachusetts. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, no question. Like yeah, Joe Rogan, for example. It's like
Joe Rogan. Who's that?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, total back and forth.
I mean, I'm in this for the money because he got $100 million deal, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna start a podcast now, just like everyone else.
Who's this $100 million deal with?
Joe Rogan with Spotify.
Oh my gosh, no way! Is he? So he's exclusive Spotify.
Exclusive Spotify. It's all free still, but that starts like next week, I think. And I was joking when I said I was in this for the money, by the way.
Yeah, all good. I just saw that he had a Lance Armstrong one come out.
Oh, really?
I meant to listen to today.
Dude, wait, no way.
Because forgot to charge my phone last night, so I went digging. I had a dead phone for 6 hours.
Oh shit! He had one come out with today was John Mackey, who is the CEO and co-founder of Whole Foods, which is interesting.
Oh, okay.
And then Adam Alter, yeah, he is. I mean, dude, that guy is. I like him because similar. Not that I want this to be the Joe Rogan experience, but with me instead. But I admire how he does do the same thing. Well, I guess I do the same thing that he does, which is like have different guests on from a variety of industries and like a variety of places. I think that's cool. And honestly, I like imagine like talking to him because he's probably talked to more people than anyone, honestly. Yeah. Like who is like, he just talks for like a living because he does stand-up comedy and stuff too. So
yeah,
it's pretty nuts.
Dude, it's so nuts, man. And it's cool too. Like, yeah, like once you fall into like following his podcast or whatever, and yeah, it's same thing. Like I've listened to podcasts he's done with people who I would have never found before, or like never thought that I'd like get a takeaway from something they could say. And then you just you're just like, oh, Joe Rogan episode's probably going to be freaking sweet. I'll listen to it. And then you just get such a new, unique perspective on something or just on life. Yeah, it's super good. It's healthy to listen to that for sure.
How much are you, so when you listen to podcasts, how much do you listen to people that you don't know? Like not new podcasts. I'm saying like, how much will you listen to a Joe Rogan podcast with someone that you've never heard of before as the guest?
I would say that it is what determines whether I will listen to a podcast episode with someone who I'm not aware of their being or like who they are is who the podcaster is. So take like Tim Ferriss show, for example, or Rich Roll or Joe Rogan. So Rich Roll, Tim Ferriss, Joe Rogan. Those three, I will listen to whoever they talk to. It doesn't matter. If I see a new episode and I like read the brief like 3-line bio that's on the Apple Podcast, bam. If I'm on a long drive, I'll listen to it. I don't care. And if it's horrible in the first 15 minutes, I'll turn it off. But if it's like a reputable podcast, like one of those, then I'll give it a listen. I suppose too, like even the Vital podcast, there's even people in the bike industry that I don't know. And if like, I'll listen to every Vital one for sure. No question. But for the most part, like when I'm podcasting, like I'll go through waves of like, oh, I'm like really hyped up on Jimmy Chin, or I'm like really hyped up on Andrew Kearns, or I'm really hyped up on Casey Neistat, or I'm really hyped up on, I could go on for hours. Or I'm really hyped up on John Florence, or I'm really hyped up on whoever. Like, all these people just stoke me out. I'll just, like, Google and find, like, even if it's a 20-minute rando podcast with horrible audio quality, like, Andrew Kearns I used to be, like, obsessed with, and he only has, like, 3 of them, and one of them is, like, a 40-minute podcast with just the worst audio ever, and I, like, don't give a crap, because it's, like, I'm so hyped to hear what this guy has to say. So, like, for the most part, it's, like, I'll take people who I'm being inspired by, listen to those, and then those reputable podcasts, I'll just pull kind of whatever.
Yeah, true. I only have Andy Stumpf and Joe Rogan are probably the only 2 people that I listen to, like, no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
I couldn't care. And I think that's really interesting because I figure that most people don't really, like, I think most people don't want to listen to anyone beyond their sphere, like, that they normally listen to. Like, I'm guilty of that too. Like, if I don't know the Joe Rogan person, sometimes I'll just be like, I don't know if I want to get into a 3-hour podcast about, like, mushrooms or some shit.
Yeah. Seriously.
But then again, that's me maybe, like, not, like, being lazy and not wanting to, like, do things outside of my normal, like, consuming of whatever. But how much do you listen to podcasts versus music, would you say?
Lately, a little too heavy on the music. I think it's super healthy to be regularly listening to podcasts or audiobooks at the same. I think any form of audio, whether it's books or podcasts, I think both contribute to learning and bettering yourself. And I set a goal of doing 3 audiobooks a month beginning of this year, and I haven't done that, that's for sure. And generally I'm pretty good about podcasts this spring. When I was digging at Ethan's house every day, I was doing 3 podcasts a day, no problem. So good. I'll re-listen to some episodes too if it's, like, with someone who I'm hyped on. But yeah, lately just a little heavy on the music, but now that I'm kind of back in the van and just, like, chilling, a little bit more zen, the podcasts are gonna come back into life here, which is super good. Like, I think regardless if it's something that, like, I think what my biggest thing with podcasts is it's not that I'll listen to one and I'll have, like, okay, these are my 3 bullet points I learned. But sometimes if I, like, hear someone's thought process or the way that they think about a situation that they've went through in life, and then I'll, like, kind of apply. It's, like, kind of hard to describe, but, like, try to apply, like, how they went about certain situations or difficulties to, like, things that I'm dealing with, and be like, oh, well, they had this adversity and they dealt with it this way. Okay, what am I going through, and how can I sort of, like, adjust maybe, like, how I'm dealing with something, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, totally. And I think that podcasts are cool because, like, I'm kind of like ADD-ish, like ADHD. And it's easy. It's great because I can be doing something, like, there's no other medium besides music that you can, like, I can go grocery shopping and listen to a podcast. And so I'm, like, consuming, like, valuable information. Hopefully it's valuable. While doing other things versus, like, even, like, Instagram and stuff like that requires your full attention. Whereas, like, you can kind of, like, space out and, like you said, listen to valuable people and stuff while you're doing other things. And that's so cool.
Yeah, seriously. It's the best. Like, yeah, digging. My dad listens to podcasts when he goes on trail rides. Like, yeah, dude, they're awesome. Like, yeah, I can't recommend them enough. Clearly, if whoever is listening to this listens to podcasts, but yeah, you should listen to podcasts. More of them from Max too.
Thanks, I appreciate that. But what have you been up to during Corona, dude? You said you've been digging a lot and stuff, and then you switched vans. Why'd you switch vans?
Yeah, so COVID hit. I was halfway through, like, probably the biggest project that I've had the opportunity to be a part of, or, like, one of them, which was a new video with Tom and Ethan from Monster Energy. COVID hit, and we're all like, oh, coronavirus, whatever, dude. Oh, the Canadian border's closing. Oh, shit, I have to fly home. So now we're, like, halfway through that video. Tom and Calvin had to fly home, who I was working with on that. And then, yeah, I kind of was, like, planning on just being around Utah until the end of that video. And then I was just, like, kind of ended up living in my van outside of Ethan's house, digging in the backyard a whole bunch. Then it got really hot, and I was like, it was, like, starting to be, like, 95 in my van at night, and I was like, screw this. So then Jackson Riddle and I went really full send, drove across the entire country and rented a house in New Hampshire and rode Highland every day all summer, which was super sick. We're working on a film right now, so we filmed a bunch the whole time there. And then, yeah, came back. And my other van was Sprinter, short roof, short wheelbase, and not exactly meant for like living out of full time, like sick camper setup, but not like best full time. And I was like, screw it, I'm gonna sell my van, build another one, put it up for sale, and van life market is going insane right now with COVID. Like, dude, they're selling so gnarly. I got full asking price, like no questions asked. So
Wow.
yeah, flip my van, and this is night number 3 in the new one. So yeah, man, she's not totally done. Still got some lingering stuff going on, but yeah, man, it's good. I'm stoked. This one I can stand up in. I have a shower. My kitchen setup is dialed. Just waiting on a few more parts for that. But yeah, dude, life is good. Grateful to be sleeping in the desert in a comfortable home. That's for sure.
What's her name?
Dude, I don't know, man. I
What,
have
you gotta
to
name her,
decide.
bro.
No, I didn't name my other one. Someone had a funny name the other day. Like the Virgin Express or something. I'm not sure. I'll have to think of something. I don't know.
The Virgin Caboose.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I don't know. I'm sure like I'll probably do something dumb that will end up defining the van, and then that will be the name. But for now, it's just Van V2.
Van V2. Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it nice has it been nice like having, I mean, you've been filming less this year than you did last year, right?
Yeah, way
Yeah.
less. Like insanely little compared to the year prior.
And has it been
Which has been good, or
well, has it been nice being able to ride more versus film and like focus on your riding career a little bit more, or what do you think about that?
yeah, it's been sweet for sure, and it's definitely been a conscious decision. Like obviously, I think regardless of whether COVID hit or not, I still would have done the same thing. It maybe would have been a little bit harder because I would have been like actively turning down jobs. I wasn't asked to do a shoot. I did a monster video with Ethan, like super chill one for Instagram. That was a 1-day shoot in his backyard in the spring. Besides that, which happened technically during COVID, besides that, from March until September, 6 months, I didn't get asked to do any work. So I was like, I had some money saved up. I was like, oh, screw it. Just ride all the time. Which, even if it was normal life, I think I would have tried to have done the same thing. And yeah, man, it's been sweet. Like, riding for me in the past has always been like such a good release. Like, I was a huge nerd in high school, and I would like multiple days a week, I didn't give a crap. I drive 30 minutes to the indoor skate park in the middle of winter, and I'd ride for like an hour. Like, I'd drive for an hour to ride for an hour to do homework for 5 hours. Like, it's just always been a release for me. And then now, like, really focusing on it, it's like, it's just my favorite thing in the world. Like, I literally can't express how much I like riding my bike. Like, I literally have been going insane building this van. I rode twice in 3 weeks, and I was miserable. Like, I love riding my bike, and I like can't express that enough. Like, it's insane. So it's been so sick. Like, yeah, shittest year, but probably the happiest I've been just because I've ridden like almost every day. It's been so sick. I'm so stoked on life for sure.
Well, that's sick, dude. It's cool to hear to talk to someone that said that they're the happiest they've been in this year, because honestly, like a lot of the people I know have just been down in the dumps just because of how fucked 2020's been.
Yeah.
So that's good. It's sick to hear that you've just had a positive experience throughout, and that it's a good thing that you had money saved up too, that you were able to like go out to New Hampshire and just freaking ride every day. So that's sick.
Yeah, I got super lucky for sure. Yeah, grateful for I got to do a project in New Zealand that basically just paid for my summer. So I got super lucky without a doubt. Very, very grateful that filming and riding go hand in hand, and this year supported my riding enjoyment a lot. So that was nice.
Fuck yeah, dude. How's your job changed because of Corona?
Dude, well, as I said, yeah, no work for 6 months. That was pretty shitty. Um, and then yeah, like even most recently, I found out that I had COVID halfway through a shoot, and it all got canceled. That was pretty horrible. But besides the whole me getting COVID ruining that project, in the work I've done lately, it hasn't changed so much. I did a video for Yeti Cycles with Reed. That was totally chill, pretty much normal. Um, then what else have I done lately? I've been doing stuff for Specialized, some cinematography work. But excuse me, that's been totally chill. That's with Marshall Mullen. He's super rad to work with, and yeah, that's been normal. So like the shoots I've been doing, besides the one that was a catastrophic failure, it's all been pretty chill, thankfully. Um, but yeah, it's definitely not how it used to be in terms of like last year around this time. I went U.S. Open or no, Proving Grounds, U.S. Open, Rampage, like 5 weeks back to back to back. I guess there was 2 weeks off before Rampage, but like, yeah, that's not happening this year. Like, yeah, no Rampage, obviously, and no Proving Grounds and no US Open. So yeah, no event. So I guess that's one thing I totally spaced on is, yeah, no event. So it's all just been like visual filming work mostly. I did a shoot for TLD recently that I don't know when those stills are going to come out with Jackson. We got some good stuff. And yeah, so it's mainly been cinematography work from my end instead of a lot of stills, which I did fall of last year, and yeah, no events. So, and then no work at all summer. So yeah, it's been interesting for sure, and curious to see kind of next few months how she goes.
Yeah, man. You said before that you enjoy. Wait, crap. What was I gonna say? Oh, crap. I spaced. But anyway, so you do photo and video work. Do you like one more than the other?
I would say it goes seasonally. It kind of depends on what the vibe is. Lately, I've really had the opportunity to be just a cinematographer and not a producer or editor. A lot of the time before, it'd be like, okay, well, we have this much budget. We need you to shoot, edit, and do everything for it. And that was fine for like last few years. But now lately, I'm starting to work on some bigger shoots. And dude, it's so awesome. Like showing up and not worrying about where I'm sleeping, not worrying about the food or anything. That's taken care of by a producer. And just being a cinematographer and handing over my card at the end of every night and then leaving and not having to edit is such an enjoyable experience. It's almost a similar joy to what stills would give me. Like that's what I like about stills so much is it's not like video almost became like a lifestyle. Like I'd always be like editing one, producing or like starting to do pre-production on another, shooting one, and it was just like so much shit going on, and I would like live in these projects and have no break. And then now with stills, it was like, okay, you deliver the photos and it's done, and that's like a quick process. And now with being a cinematographer, it's like, okay, you show up for 4 days and that's your work week. It's not like 24/7 consuming my brain. Not that I'm like not always thinking about my job, but like it's not like I always like when I have lingering projects, it's like the way my brain works. It's like always have to be working on like whatever I have going on. So it's been so sick, like being a cinematographer lately, and it's given me like, yeah, similar feeling to stills. So there's times when I find more enjoyment in still photography, but in the past, like I said, it's because it's been like a shorter workflow. So like lately I've been way more stoked on video. But who knows, in 2 weeks that could change. So, but yeah, there's pros and cons to both. And it's cool though, working on video, like a bigger team lately. And it's more of a group effort. So yeah, video's sick right now.
Yeah, dude, working with groups is awesome. Like I've had to do projects by myself and it's just so freaking stressful. Like you film the whole thing and then you you worked on your movies and stuff like that. And then you start hating it so much because you don't have the objectiveness. Like, in Hollywood, the editors are never even on set. Mm-hmm. And they are so objective and you kill your darlings because you don't give a fuck about how long someone took to get a shot if it sucks. But when you film everything, you don't have that objective view because you're like, well, I spent 6 freaking hours building this feature and I loved the light and everything, but then the editor has to be like, well, it doesn't contribute to the story, so it's not going to be in here.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard to find that balance. So yeah, it's definitely a big deal.
I feel that. Like, I guess now that you say that, this has been the first time in my life I've really done team projects, which I didn't even think about. Like, everything has been solo, and like, if it was a failure, it's on me, or a success, it's been on me. So I guess that's part of another thing of why the jobs I've been getting lately have been sick. And yeah, crazy about the Hollywood stuff. I think that's so crazy that the editors aren't on set, and super cool thing to think about, no question.
Yeah. Yeah. Quentin Tarantino's editor was a woman, and he'd bring all of the footage to her after he'd done, and he would just be like, edit it.
Yeah.
Just completely. And like, especially now, like I worked with IFHT, and those guys just do everything. And it's so impressive to see how objective they can be, just like doing all their own stuff. Whereas like in a lot of other industries with like bigger teams, bigger budgets and whatever, like you can just be like color it or like edit it or just like throwing different jobs to different people. And then you can kind of stick to your job. Like I worked on a job earlier this year with a company, and like you talked about, I just shot the whole thing, not the whole thing, part of it. I was just one of the cinematographers there. And then it was so nice because I just left. And then the video came out like a month later, and it was like, yay.
Yeah.
It was
Dude,
like
it's
so mellow.
sick. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love
dude,
that.
it's the best.
But
So good.
so when you went to Highland, you focused a lot on your writing, right?
Yeah. Tons.
Yeah,
All
tons.
I did. Every
And
day.
what do you learn?
Dude, all sorts of stuff, like whole lot of tricks that I guess I could say it's kind of whatever. It will come out in the video Jackson I filmed at some point. Like a bunch of tricks I've been working on that I haven't posted yet. A lot of oppo stuff. Like I did switch double trucks, just super hyped on. And then also just like riding the downhill bike a whole bunch, like working on whips on the Freebird, which is like the bigger jump there. Just getting faster. Not so much trail bike. I don't think I really touched my trail bike. Actually, no. I filmed a video with Luca Cometti that was on my trail bike. I rode for 2 weeks on my trail bike, like only. But yeah, dude, we thankfully got access to the HTC, which is the Highland Training Center, and they have a foam pit and a resi ramp next to each other. And it was closed because of COVID, but open to us. So we basically had a private training facility all summer, and it was like the sickest shit ever. Like,
That's nuts.
dude, go in, hook up to the speakers, have the most insanely gnarly Euro rap playing, and just sending ourselves on the resi every day.
Oh, just
Dude.
just
Oh
freaking
yeah, dude,
beats going,
Skepta. Dude, I don't know if you know Skepta, but dude, Skepta all day. And we
Dude, I
just
love
like
Euro beats, bro.
Oh yeah, and we cooked 3 meals a day. So we'd like cook or ride or sleep. Literally. Like we'd wake up 6 a.m., coffee, ride all day. And then sleep. And then
That's
dinner and then
nuts.
sleep. Dude, it was like best summer of my life. Like, dude, waking up and like just shredding is so sick, man. It's the best.
That's sick, dude.
It's so
Did you
good.
so are you gonna have like a segment of your own as like an athlete?
Yeah, we've been making like a whole video since April.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
Did
dude,
Jackson
it's
film you?
Oh yeah, we filmed each other the whole time. It's 17 minutes right now, I think, with the edit I have. But yeah, we need to finish here. We want to just have like a banger Utah seggy as the ender, like a bunch of the stuff we've been working on. But yeah, I like built a van and had to work a bit. And it's cool. Like we have a lot about him like talking about wanting to get on Red Bull and stuff, and then it happened. So that's going to be a really sick thing to kind of have in there. Yeah, man, it's cool. It's like, it's just super us. Like, it's all the like we're just gonna go out for free. It's all the music we like to listen to. It's cool. I hope people like it. Like, it's a little out there. Like
No, dude,
the
that's sick.
opening song is a little weird, but it's like we listen to it all the time. It's hilarious.
Is it Skepta, bro?
It is OG Skepta 2007.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's been a fun thing to work on, and yeah, hopefully we'll finish it up here like next couple weeks. I know I have like probably 5 things I want to get. Jackson probably has like 100. Crazy guy. And yeah, we'll kind of wrap it up and then probably put it out like January, February would probably be the goal, and Yeah, who knows? It'll be sick. It's been fun to work on for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. What was seeing Jackson getting that Red Bull sponsor like?
Dude, it was sick, man. He knew for a while, but he didn't know when he was getting his helmet. And it was, dude, literally every day, because no joke, like the house we rented was basically the size of my van. Like we lived in a shoebox together all summer. And dude, every night we'd talk about it. Like all he would talk about is Red Bull. Dude. So to see it happen was so sick. And then, yeah, Carson and I got to kind of plan out how he got his helmet. And I was doing a different video at the time. And I was like, hey, man, like to the guy I was shooting with, like, a really important thing's happening. I need the day off from the shoot. He's like, okay. Got the day off from the other shoot I was working on. Well, I guess half day off. Just the morning. And I'm like, yo, Jackson, like, so and so blacked out last night, so I can come ride. Let's go ride. He's like, fuck yeah. I like show up. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna bring my camera. Maybe I'll just shoot a photo or so. Like, just I haven't shot in a while. I'm like shooting the run into the jump. He hits the jump, and then Carson's there with his helmet on the landing. It was, dude. And then I just like popped up and shot that. Dude, it was sick, man. It was, yeah, man. So like crazy to see it happen, but like also not at the same time, if that makes sense. Like I just saw him in the Red Bull helmet and I was like, oh, I've literally seen this in my opinion like every day for the last year. But it's like then he actually has it. It's pretty wild. So yeah, man, couldn't be more proud of him. It's been wild to kind of like see that come to fruition the last few years, and stoked to see what he does with it, man. Like that kid's one of the best bike riders in the world, and he's gonna innovate and do stuff no one else has done before. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's nuts. I've seen a lot of his videos, like the one you did, the space race one you did with him and stuff like that. And it's crazy what he's doing at this point. Like, is he 19 now?
In a week? What day is it today? December 2nd, I think, is his birthday.
Okay.
In a week, a little over a week.
So he's 18.
Yeah.
And he's already like on Red Bull and just doing the most fucked. Like he did the front flip crank flip was freaking nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Like
dude.
just the highest consequence, just like gnarly shit. And it's so impressive to see him get that sponsor.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing. And it's crazy. I don't think people really understand what goes into it. That kid crashes more than anyone I know. Like, he's not learning in a foam pit. Like, he's just like, okay, I want to learn this. I'm going to fuck up until I learn it. Like, straight up. Like, we have some heavy slams in the video we've been working on. And, like, dude, he doesn't give a crap. It's so sick. Like, I think for me, like, I get to see that. And that's even more impressive than what, like, not more impressive, but knowing what goes into, like, what he's doing is just insanity. It's gnarly, man. He's a gnarly guy for sure.
Yeah, I don't have the gene. I do not have the not afraid to crash gene.
Yeah,
I didn't get that, dude. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But so you've been developing your writing a lot more this year, and like than the filmmaking for sure. And you got on Canyon for like as a writer. So can you tell me about that? And are you exclusively a writer for them, or what's that partnership like, and how'd that develop?
Yeah, so last summer I was at Brett's house and I was like, riding every day is pretty sick. And I was supposed to be working for him. And I was kind of not really working for him. I was just riding my bike every day. So, yeah, last summer I was like, man, riding my bike every day is really sick. And I was like, okay, like whatever. So start being pretty active on Instagram or whatever, and made a video at the end of the year that a bunch of people are hyped on. Bike Mag did an article about me, which was super duper helpful. And yeah, like a couple of ducks aligned up, and then I just kind of blindly sent some emails, just to be honest. Like I found some team managers' emails on LinkedIn, and Canyon wrote back, and it took from the first email to like when I got my bikes, it ended up being like probably 6 months, I think. I got my bikes kind of late in the year, but yeah, man, they took a huge chance on me, and super grateful for the opportunity, no question. And yeah, so I just ride their bikes. I like filming or anything's not exclusive. That's whatever. That's its own thing. That's why I have my 2 Instagrams, Peter Jameson and Peter Jameson Media. I can be fluid, do whatever. And yeah, dude, it's been sweet. Like I'm filming an edit for them right now. That's what I've been digging for. They have some cool stuff happening, and I'm working on a video for it. And then I also did one with Luca Cometti for them. That should come out like next week, I think. So yeah, dude, it's been sweet. Like it's been like first time ever having like nice bikes in my life. Like I was riding Nikolai's old trail bike, Brett's old downhill bike, and then a Trek hardtail that I got from some guy back home. Like I'd just been on kind of whatever bike, sketchy parts, like whatever. So to have like nice bikes this year has been an absolute treat, and super grateful for the opportunity.
Oh yeah, that's sick that you. I mean, there's some people like Gimbal God has like a board sponsor, like Burton, but it's cool to see that you've kind of transferred into that too. That you're developing your career as a rider as well as like a filmmaker. Like that's freaking cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it hasn't been without growing pains, that's for sure. It's been an interesting like kind of finding the balance and whatever. I mean, not that there aren't people who do it, but like I want to be like one of the best filmers, or like making the most progressive content from a video standpoint, and also doing the most progressive tricks and being at the top as an athlete, and to balance that super hard. So yeah, it's been interesting, and we'll see how it goes the next couple months, years, days, whatever. But yeah, it's super rad. I'm super grateful to kind of have some stuff, have balls rolling on both sides for sure.
And what role in the industry do you play as an athlete, and how does that differ from other athletes in the industry? And like, because you're not competing in Crankworx, so what do you provide to Canyon that they find is worth giving you free bikes and paying you?
Yeah. So I would say a few things. Like, for one, on the video side, which I know saying that might seem a little bit weird right now because none of the videos I've worked on this year have come out, but like the film with Jackson, and then the one with Luca, and then the video I'm working on right now. So that's my biggest goal for the next few years, is to work on video projects of myself riding. And then also Canyon can come to me and be like, okay, we have this much to do a video, or etc. And my other job is a producer. Like I produce videos. I know exactly what this shit costs to do. I know exactly the people to get it done. And I know that I likely have a relationship with those people. So for a company like Canyon to work with me, it's super easy for them to be like, okay, Pete, well, we need to do this video. I'm like, okay, well, what's the budget? Okay, I know. They don't even have to worry about anything. It's like, okay, I can edit the video. I know how to deal with the music licensing. I can ride in the video, and I know the exact filmers to call to do it. So it's a no-brainer for them. It's like, okay, here's our budget. We have the guy. He can worry about all the bullshit. Like, and then a couple weeks later, I just give them a video file. So super easy for them. So there's value there. Other value would be social media, which I've been super off lately, just dealing with a lot of personal stuff, like with my van and some other shit, COVID, whatever. But like all summer, I'm like super active on social media. I keep a Dropbox for all my sponsors. So like whatever I'm posting, they have access to, and I'll put other content in there as well. Like I'll upload my edit. Like I'll regularly do Instagram edits, and I'll do like the edit with a song, without the song, and then I'll like sometimes do like just individual clips if the sponsor wants that. So like whatever companies I'm working with always have content. And then also I'll like have Jackson take pictures of me. I'll deal with editing that. I'll basically set the shot up, post, hit the shutter, and then they can have like a professional image to use. So there's value there in the content, me being able to produce, and then things like this. Like I would say that, and not to be sound arrogant, but there's like quite a few kids who message me and be like, yo, how do you do like what you do? Like, just because I'm not just like a rider, like I ride, I film, I live in a van, like whatever, have like a bit more going on than some other people. And like, I'll be like, I hop on the phone with these random kids from Instagram looking for advice, like pretty often. So there's kind of like value in sort of being a unique character. And then, yeah, sort of those other things I mentioned. So yeah, I mean, it's not like, yeah, I'm getting top 3 in speed and style, but it's just sort of different. I mean, right now with coronavirus and stuff, like at least for 2021, my value is probably a little bit higher than it would be without coronavirus, just because isn't events or anything. So what I'm doing with social media and being able to produce these videos is suddenly a bit more meaningful.
What do you see yourself doing? Like, where do you want to be as an athlete?
Yeah, goal would be to, I mean, I want to be at the point where I'm innovating and doing unique things that other people haven't really done so much of before. Or maybe, I mean, I have a lot of technical like skate park background and good at going backwards and things like that, and just sort of taking like riding in a unique creative way. Like the feature I'm building right now, I have like a pretty unique trick to do on it. And yeah, I just like, I mean, for me, I just want to like ride. Like I love riding my bike. I literally just love it. But yeah, like I want to be good on all my bikes. Like I want to be able to just show up and 3 a drop on my downhill bike or 3 a big jump, which isn't so far, like isn't that big of I haven't done that yet, but I will. Like I've been 3ing some smaller jumps on my downhill bike. I haven't spun a drop yet, but I will soon. Like those are some goals, and then like I can pretty much show like, yeah, and then I have some tricks in my hardtail I still want to do. I have a bunch that I filmed that I haven't posted yet that I'm super hyped on. One trick in particular that I haven't really seen anyone else do, so I'm stoked to post that. But yeah, man, I just like obviously want to like just keep a smile on my face, love riding my bike, and I want to be super dialed on all my bikes, like downhill bike, trail bike, hardtail, whatever. Just want to be on point on all my bikes and just get to the point where I can innovate and help push the sport like through what I do with my riding.
Sick, man. It's so cool talking to you. You can just tell like the passion and the energy that you have for what you do is fucking, it's there, and it's so prevalent. And every time you talk about like riding bikes and how much you love riding bikes, you just smile and like put your head back. You're just like, dude, I just fucking love riding bikes. And I think it's so cool to talk to you about how much you're passionate about those things. And it's cool nowadays, especially like I said, how people are, I don't know, like a lot of negativity has been around recently, and it's sick to talk to someone, like I said, that's just so positive and happy with life and stuff, and just psyched about what you're doing.
Thanks, man. Sorry if I end up rambling. I get stoked.
Dude, that's sick. No, I'm a rambler too. So let me know if I'm just talking too much. That dude, honestly, a big reason why I started this podcast is I'm a terrible listener. Like I suck at listening. So I was like, well, fuck, I need to like start something that forces me to shut up, dude, and just like listen and not interrupt people, because I'm awful at doing that. And like being present, because a lot of the time I'm just like in my head, just like in freaking La La Land. So it's cool to be like in like locked into something where there's no other distractions. I'm not gonna look at my phone or like any of that, and I'm just like in it. And I'm listening to you and like your passions and shit like that. It's just awesome.
Fuck yeah. So
yeah, bro, sick. I love it. But yeah, so how has Peter Jamieson Media changed over the past 3 to 4 years since you started in the tent?
Yeah. Well, I would say lately it's been in the realm of the projects. Like, yeah, at first it was like, okay, we have $500. Can you do this video? I'm like living in a tent, like, sure. Or like, yo, we'll give you $200 to shoot for the day or whatever. And then, then it was kind of like, okay, well, we have this much money. Can you shoot, edit, and do everything for this video? It's like, okay, rad. And then, lately, like last couple months, it's been like whole different thing. Like just being a cinematographer has been like a really big thing the last kind of little bit as we were chatting about, and then kind of a bit more photo work. So from like stage 1 to now, it was just super grassroots in the beginning, like doing smaller projects and just kind of doing it to do it. Doing it well because I loved and continue to love it. And then now it's just like the realm of the projects. Like as my cinematography, producing whatever has progressed, that's grown with the size of the projects I'm working on. So now like I'm just working on way more important videos, more important athletes, and starting to do some stuff outside of mountain biking, not necessarily outside, but with some bigger brands, which has been rad. So yeah, man, it's been cool, and that's just natural progression. So it's been super sweet to like go from, I remember like the first video I got paid for $500 for, and then it's sick. Like, not that I'm making millions or anything, like hardly, but like I'm living in a van. It's like, but it's like cool. Like for me, it's not about the money, but it's really awesome just to be involved in like projects I know like a lot of people will watch, or like are for a super reputable brand. Like if I'm working on a project for like even shooting photos for Red Bull or something, I'm like, oh my gosh, 15-year-old Pete would be shitting his pants right now, and 20-year-old Pete's still kind of shitting his pants. And I'm just living I'm just living it, and super grateful to be where I'm at. And it hasn't been easy, that's for sure, but like I'm shooting for clients who I always dreamed of working for, and it's work, but yeah, I love it, and it's been cool. Like, the first company I worked for was Stan's No Tubes Wheels. It's a pretty small company from New York, and now I'm doing stuff for Red Bull, Monster, like whoever, Cliff Bar, Shimano, etc. Like, just starting small and then working my way up to whatever up is. I mean, I don't know what up is. I'm figuring it out right now. So yeah, man,
That's
it's
the beauty
been cool.
of it, though.
Yeah, dude, it's been cool. I mean, I don't know how high I'll end up going or whatever, but as long as I'm having a smile and staying passionate, I think that's what matters, regardless of anything else.
Yeah, man. Speaking of passion,
Yeah.
so you released 2 passion projects since you've started. Well, big
Yeah.
ones, Passion and Tribe, and you're working on a third right now, right? You said.
A third and a fourth, but we can get into both of those.
Damn.
Yeah, I guess I
Line
didn't
them
preface
up,
you
dude.
on that. Yeah.
Wow, that's sick. But so between Passion and Tribe, besides like the athletes and the locations and stuff like that, and the story structure, like Passion had the chapter structure, and then Tribe was more about the groups of people and the tribes that you worked with. What were the biggest things that you learned between the two, technically, and also to like improve the quality of it and whatnot?
Yeah. Okay. So I would say both. That the biggest thing to understand is my headspace and where I was at as a filmmaker. Like when I did Passion, I was like, half of it I was still attending high school full time. I was using an FS5, borrowing a lot of gear from my school, and I was working at a news station at a time, like doing narrative work. So I was like super up on like making sure my audio was dialed and like learning how to lav up people and like get all that shit going. And I was like super stressed about music licensing, so I used like Artlist for the whole thing. And then Tribe, I was like living on the road full time. I had a Red for the whole thing, which was freaking sick. I bought a Red in April of 2019, which is a huge step. So yeah, like what I learned and my takeaways in both were very different. My goals are super different. I think with Passion, I just really wanted to do something major. I didn't want to just like do YouTube stuff forever. I was like, okay, like I want to like do something huge, I set this huge goal, and then I like started working on it, and I was like, holy shit, man, this is a huge goal. And then yeah, kind of like I think what we talked about earlier, it's super easy to get down on yourself or whatever. And that my biggest takeaway with that was being more communicating better with the people involved in the project. And just getting more perspectives. So when I was working on that, I hardly showed any of the cuts to anyone. I was too self-conscious. I was really worried about what people would think of my work, particularly people involved. I really didn't want anyone to see it. And I remember every time I did show it to every time I showed the product to a person, whether I was with them face to face or even if I was just texting them a link, I was shitting my pants. I was so scared for anyone to watch that. So scared that I exported the project at the end of August and I didn't release it till January. I was too scared. I was going to delete the video. I was like, screw that. I was like, this video is trash. And then Ethan Nell was like, what do you mean, dude? Like, we all worked in this with you. You have to release it. I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I like released it and people seemed really stoked. So yeah, man, that was cool. Outside TV bought it for distribution. So it was on like Amazon and stuff. That was pretty crazy. So it was funny, man. Like that one went from something that just caused me so much agony and depression to something that ended up being a huge step in my career. Whereas Tribe was so much more playful. Like I was just at a point where I had done a lot of commercial work throughout the year. I had this footage from Brett's house I was just sitting on. And I was just like, I just want to make something that I'm hyped on. Like, I don't care about a client or anything. Like, I'm just going to make something that gets myself and the boys, like, fired up, man. And, like, I was just editing that at Ethan's house. I'd leave my door open. E-Boy would come in. Reed would come in, whoever. They'd just, like, every night I'd show them what I'm working on. Like, everyone was involved. I'd always be sending people cuts. Like, everyone was so involved in that one. And it was just like, yeah, like the beginning is E-Boy blowing up his car yelling, fuck. Reed's in there saying, like, ride fast, eat ass. Like, dude, it's so playful and fun. And, like, I was watching Done by John Florence every night, editing that thing. Like, that's just a fun, homey vibe video. And, yeah, I don't know. My big, like, dude, that one I didn't struggle with so much. Like, I just sent it and had a blast. Like, I can't remember really getting pissed at that project ever. It was just fun. So yeah, man, biggest thing for that was like, dude, just have fun with what you're doing. And like, yeah, I took what I learned from Passion and put it into Tribe, and yeah, it paid off. I got a staff pick and people seemed pumped on it. So yeah, I was sick. I remember with Passion, I was like, oh, I'd be sick to get a staff pick and didn't get one. Tribe, I was like, oh, fuck it. I don't care if I get a staff pick, and then it gets it's like
yeah,
classic.
Classic.
Yeah, whatever.
Dude,
Yeah.
there's this frame in Tribe in the beginning when he gets the Subi, when Ethan gets the Subi, and he looks at the camera, and I swear to God, he looked like Mac Miller, bro. He looked exactly like fucking Mac Miller, bro.
That's hilarious. I'm gonna have to go rewatch that scene and look.
It's so funny.
Dude.
He like stares at the camera, and I'm like, that's Mac Miller, 100%.
That's awesome. The other day, E-Boy pulled out a book at his house on the anniversary of Mac Miller's death, and it had a Mac Miller ticket fall out of the book from a concert he went to, just by chance.
Oh, wow,
Dude,
that's
it was
nuts.
gnarly, man. Yeah.
Oh. R.I.P.
So
Mac
crazy.
Miller. That guy's a legend.
Yeah,
Dude, I wish
seriously,
that, like,
listening to him today.
the whole music, like how you have to get copyright and stuff, is so frustrating. I mean, it makes sense, but like,
so frustrating.
dude, like I just want to be able to use like a Mac Miller song. Like I use Small World for my reel, actually.
Yeah.
Hopefully no one comes and copyright freaking whatever. But but then I know people like, so I know this guy who's like a big he runs like he's a big production. I don't want to do any specifics, but he helps run a big production company. Like they make documentaries and ads for big like world companies, and their reel is not copyrighted.
Really?
Like they used like a really well-known song, and it is 100% like not copyrighted. And I was so surprised because I was
Freestyle.
like, hey, I really need to get my song copyrighted. And he's like, don't worry about it, dude. Like no one's gonna find out. And I was like, wow, that's nuts.
Gnarly.
So yeah,
That's
I don't know
crazy.
if you can really do that anymore, but it's pretty gnarly. But I liked like the artless music in Passion was good, but it's to some extent it is artless music, and it just kind of has that like sound. I mean, I'm not calling you out. I'm just saying.
No, dude, fuck.
But like,
I haven't even watched that video since it came out. It brings me pain.
Really?
Talk shit all day.
It brings you pain?
Oh yeah, dude. I haven't watched it since.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I've had to use like Artlist and stuff, and it gets so frustrating. Like all the songs, dude, and it gets to the point where you find songs that are used in other people's videos, like all the freaking time, and it's so annoying.
Yeah,
oh,
dude, it's the worst, man. That's like 90% of my creativity loss is not having music I'm hyped on. And lately I've just been scrolling through Bandcamp and finding really small artists that still have music I'm really hyped on, but they have like 500 Instagram followers, and I just DM them and figure something out. And that gets me way more stoked. Because I spend most of my time nowadays is just trying to find music I'm hyped on that I can get access to.
Yeah, dude, like half of editing is finding music. Like I did my Dirt Diaries thing, and I spent a day and a half on my computer just finding music for like 3 songs. It's so frustrating. And then you start editing one to the music, you like commit, and then it just sucks, and you're just like, fuck.
Yeah.
I have to change it. And then you go change it, and then that one sucks, and it's just this like ever freaking never ending thing. It's just so annoying.
Yeah, seriously. Couldn't agree more, that's for sure.
So since Tribe is released, like in the videos that you've been doing recently, how like you did Forward with Casey Brown and stuff like that, how have you progressed a lot since then, or has it more been your writing as the focus?
I would say that for one, as a producer, like for budgeting and like getting permits and stuff, which that's something you'd never see. That's all behind the scenes work, but that's been getting a lot better. Like Casey's project, I had to do a lot more of that. Reed's Yeti video, I had a big role with production, and like I had to do all the permits and everything for filming, and that's been a huge learning curve, but type of thing you'd never see. And I'd actually say that since Tribe came out, almost all the jobs I've done besides Reed's thing and this one with eBoy for Monster that was just social, pretty much everything I've been doing has just been cinematography. And it's been so, like, although maybe I'm not going out and filming as much, when I am filming after I've been writing, I've just been so much more present, like during my shoots. Like when I'm at work, I'm fucking at work, and I'm like just so hyped to be filming. Just because I've been filming less, so I'm like so stoked to be getting after it. Like I'm like I'll nail a focus pull. I'm like, yo, I'm like getting hyped, man. And then yeah, like working with like sometimes like more of a team if it's two filmers or whatever. It's been like a lot of things like that I've been getting better at. Sort of. And then yeah, like dealing with like my own timing and working with other people, and a lot more like behind the scenes work has been progressing since Tribe came out, which is good type of thing. I can't be like, oh, my aerials have been getting better, oh whatever. I've been doing so much long lens filming, like a lot of stuff I've been doing for Specialized. I'm on 70 to 200 on sticks most of the time, which is sweet. I love pulling focus. It's like my favorite thing ever. So I guess I'm getting probably better at that, but pretty minimal thing. But yeah, dude, it's been good. Like mostly riding, but it's been sweet. Like because I've been riding more, my love, not that I lost it, but it's definitely easy to lose the love for filming when you're just like so work heavy. So like now that I've been riding more, I'm like I like filming even more than I ever have. So it's been sweet. I also went to New Zealand and Hawaii with Reed, E-Boy, and DJ for a month to work on a project, which is another one that will come out at some point. So I went straight from Tribe. Actually, no, sorry. Rather, I came back from that trip and then Tribe came out. But like that was a project that similar. But I had Tribe edited by the time I was on that trip. But like I had just finished the film, so when I was going into that new one, like I was so progressively minded in my cinematography. Really, everything's just been focusing just to my cinematography. And I hope to keep progressing that over the next few years.
Yeah, for sure. Wait, when were you in Hawaii? You were on the North Shore, right?
Yeah, North Shore, the second week of January.
Dude, I was there
this year. No way.
Yeah, I was filming Pipe.
No way.
Yeah, dude. I was there for 12 days with a friend, and we went because there was a huge swell that week. We were like, fuck it, let's go shoot Pipe. And so I went and shot Pipe that whole week. And it was just nuts. Absolutely
That's
nuts.
Hilarious.
Yeah. I knew
funny.
I think I saw like one of your Instagram stories, and I didn't know if you like already been there or what was going on, but I was like, oh damn, like Pete's on the North Shore. That's sick.
Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, I like, dude, I was just sitting on the beach filming. I'm like the biggest surf fan ever. Like,
Really?
Yeah, dude, I think surfing is the sickest thing of all time.
It's freaking nuts, dude.
So to be on the North Shore, I was tweaking. I was like, this is sick.
Have you ever filmed with the water housing?
Dude, I need to, for one, surf, and for two, get a water housing. Because, dude, filming with a water housing seems insanely sick.
That's like my fucking, especially like I come from skiing and like biking and shit, but like on a cinematography side, like the amount of like I feel like I'm an athlete. You have to be an athlete yourself when you're shooting surfing, like at Pipe and stuff, dude. When it's like 15 foot, and you're just out there. You're just like fucking so terrified the whole time. You have to be on your shit. And it's like you have to focus on doing like the art side and like getting cool, unique shots, but also like, oh, there's a set outer reef set coming and I don't want to fucking drown.
Yeah.
So it's the craziest combination of being physically demanding, mentally demanding of the like, I need to frame this shot, but also like calculating how far I am like close enough to where if a big set comes, I'm going to get stuck on the inside and just get fucking throttled. And you get cocky too. Like I went out one day and it was smaller, smaller, like 10 foot. And I got a little cocky and like went a little like closer on the inside because you just want to get like a shot where someone just freaking buzzes by you. And then like a set wave comes and you're just like trying to swim out. You're like, fuck with your housing. But I got caught in and then like got fucking slammed on the reef and stuff. But it's personally my favorite kind of cinematography, 100%, hands down.
Yeah, so sick. Oh,
come out to Cali and I'll freaking take you out to Wedge and we'll get some shots, dude.
Dude, it would be so sick, man. Dude, even being on the beach with like an 800 would be insane.
Yeah,
Just
an 800 with a red.
sniping. Yeah.
Dude, and I have just like a little GH5, so it's chilling because I have like it's not that small. It's like probably like 10-12 pounds, but I have it in like one arm and you're like swimming with that shit. But then like people have reds with like the freaking Zeiss cine lenses, like primes, and it's like a 30-pound thing, and they're like dragging this like massive thing like in the ocean with like a helmet and like full setup with the like Shinobi in the back, just the gnarliest shit. And I have so much respect for those kind of cinematographers. Like Eric Knudsen was the principal cinematography on like View from a Blue Moon and Tokyo Rising, and those guys are nuts, dude.
Yeah,
they're just absolutely nuts.
Yeah, so sick. Yeah, dude, this shit's so rad.
So rad. So wait, sorry, I'm trying to find my questions.
Oh, good.
So what's your favorite project you've made?
Definitely Tribe for sure. Like I'll go with Tribe, and then some of the stuff I've been doing lately for Specialized I've been so pumped on. I did 2 for Marshall Mullen this year. I'm about to go shoot a 3rd. And like the last one just came out, it's just Marshall Mullen runs errands. But like it's sick. Jasper Wesselman edits them, and then they have a colorist. And then I just shoot them. And, like, it's cool, man. Like, maybe I'm just hyped on it because it's fresh. But, dude, it's sick. Like, it's really cool watching someone else interpret the footage you shoot. And this last one just turned out awesome, I think. Like, the editor killed it. And, yeah, dude, it's been sick. So, I would say, like, generally I'm always hyped on whatever comes out. Oh, I also did Reed's thing with Yeti. That one turned out sick. Oh, and Jackson's Space Brace one. Shit. Okay, I'm hyped on a few. All right, Jackson Space Brace one, super stoked on that. Like, for something that was only meant for Instagram, like, we went in. Like, we spent, like, 10 days on that. And it was a 1-minute video. Hyped on that one. And
is he still your favorite athlete to shoot with?
Yeah, probably. He's sick, man. He's just so motivated. It's awesome. But yeah, that was a cool one. And the edit was a little out there. I don't really do much with like the visual stuff, and I went like a little heavy on that. Some weird glitches and shit, and I just used music that I thought was sick, and some people were hyped, some people weren't. For a 1-minute video, I got a lot of really sick messages about that one. So hyped on that. Really hyped on Reed's latest one. I think from a filming standpoint, that's probably my best work. Like, really hyped on all those shots. And same for that recent Specialized one I just did. Like, there's some shots in there I'm super proud of. So yeah, Tribe, and then just kind of those 3 recent ones for sure. And then Casey's Forward project, I unfortunately didn't get to edit. Not unfortunately. I would have liked to have edited it, but I didn't. But from a cinematography standpoint on that one as well, I'm super proud of a lot of the shots. But yeah, I'm obviously stoked on a lot of the shit I've done. So super lucky just to be happy and doing shit that I'm hyped on. It's being hyped on work is a luxury. So yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it really is. I'm glad that you appreciate that and you know that, because a lot of people go to work and clean freaking toilets out of high school. So
Yeah, dude, seriously.
it's
So
cool that
literally.
you're how lucky. I mean it's luck partly, but it's also like you've earned your position and obviously worked really hard for it. So it's cool that you recognize how sick of a spot you're in.
Yeah,
But
thanks.
yeah, man, for sure. So you've made a lot of videos for different companies throughout the industry. And do they come to you normally or do you go to them at this point?
I don't think I've ever gone to a client except once. Is that true? Yes, I've never gone to a client asking for work except for once. Yes, I think so. Here, I'm gonna fact check myself. I'm just gonna scroll through my.
I don't have a producer yet.
I have.
I'm trying my best.
Well, I am just checking my client list. Yeah, yeah. I don't. The only time I've ever asked a company for work was Stan's No Tubes Crankworks 2018. I was driving, first time I ever left home, driving to Crankworks, and I looked at my bank account, and I was like, "Holy fuck, I'm about to run out of money. I should get a job." And then I was like, "Hey guys, can I do a shoot for you at Crankworks?" They were like, "Sure." And that saved my ass. So
Wow.
that's the only time I've ever asked someone for money, or not money, but asked for work.
I mean, it's essentially the same thing.
Yeah, pretty much. And then, yeah, man, I'm lucky. Yeah, everything else has just come up, I guess. I
That's
never thought about that.
that's
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah, like I guess it's a little awkward. Well, I guess now like I'm pitching some stuff, but that's like a little different. That's kind of like the company I know is looking for content, and I'm like putting together a proposal that will get approved. So I guess that's kind of the same, but for the most part, it's like, okay, an athlete is like, okay, I have this project, let's do it. Or it's like, hey, we saw this on Instagram. Can we please hire you to do this shoot? Not so much Instagram, but hey, we know you work with this athlete. We need to do a product release with this athlete. You work with him regularly. Can you shoot this, etc. That kind of type of thing. Or yeah, just being like super involved with certain people. It's like, okay, well, we see you shooting with Ethan now all the time. Like, okay, you want to shoot our YT Bikes catalog? Sure. Or like, yeah, I hang out with Jackson every day. Oh, Space Brace wants a video with Jackson. Pete, you want to shoot it? Sure. Type of thing. It's man, like Scott Surface. I don't know if you're familiar with him. Super legendary snowboard photographer. He has, I think it's a video about him that F-Stop Bags did a few years ago. And he's like, my advice for anyone would be to just go out and live it. And it's like, for me, and I definitely heard him say that before I moved out or anything, but I just live it. Like, man, like every day I'm forced to be getting after it. I'm living in my van and it's going to be 32 degrees in the next like hour. Like, dude, I like wake up and I have to be grinding. Like, I can't just sit in a house all day. Like, I don't have comfort. Like, I'd be more comfortable being out digging than sitting here on my phone. So it's like, that's kind of where the work comes from, I think, is I'm just always busy, always doing shit, and then shit just has popped up the last few years. Yeah, it's not been like, oh, I'm detached and I'm trying to get involved. It's like I've been at the heart of it, thankfully, through like living in my van, people giving me opportunities, but like I've been super involved the last few years, and then that's just how stuff's happened.
Hell yeah, dude. How so when those companies come to you, how do you assure them that you're making something unique that's made to represent the soul and the characteristics of the company and not just like a mold that's been created by you and your experiences?
Whoa, that's a gnarly one. Well, I would say a lot of the stuff that I've been doing lately is product related last little bit, and a lot of the shoots I do, because realistically, it's like, okay, why is a company going to pay you to do a shoot? Well, in some cases, it might be they like your creative vision. They have to do a video with an athlete, or they have a bike that they're selling, you know? Realistically, I create marketing material. That's all I do. Myself as an athlete, I market bikes. I market Industry 9 wheels, Fox clothing, Title bars, Maxxis tires, 510 shoes, Canyon bikes. I'm a marketing guy. For videos, I make marketing material. So for the most part, if I'm getting hit up about a project, there is a product involved or some idea or like marketing campaign that a company is involved with. So it's like, okay, Fox is like, hey, we have this Reno edition kit that is going to come out at Rampage. Can you shoot photos of Brett in it? Okay, sure. I'll shoot this product that's going to come out for the release in a week, and I'm creating your visual content for it. Or Yeti, hey, Reed rides the SB165 with a dual crown. That's pretty progressive. Let's make a video about it. Okay, I make a video. They're like, hey, we like your style. You can have creative freedom. It's like, sick. That Yeti video was like pretty quick turnaround, and like they thankfully had just liked what I kind of came up with. So it's not so often like, hey Pete, what are you thinking? It's like, hey Pete, here's what you're doing. For the most part, maybe that will change in the future, but I generally don't have too much kind of creative freedom. And especially now, well, thankfully I do have a lot of creative freedom, but not like I'm kind of creating this marketing plan. That hasn't really been my role these last few years. But even now, like with being just a cinematographer lately, it's, yeah, I don't have to deal with any of that. It's like, hey Pete, can you come and shoot? Here's the style of cinematography we're looking for. Lately it's been a lot of like 7200 stees on tripod, or like I've been doing some Movi stuff, which I'm super hyped on, and then I just get the shots and they deal with everything else. So, but I hope that was kind of a roundabout answer to your question. But
No, for sure. Does that bother you, how you don't always have the complete creative control that you may want?
From time to time, what bothers me is, and I thankfully haven't dealt with this in a long, I've dealt with this in a long time, is a company who, okay, for me, I'm super core mountain biking. I'm a professional mountain biker. I make videos professionally, and I'm a mountain bike super fan. Like, I freaking know, well, not to sound too confident, I have a really good idea of what mountain bikers like to watch. I have a really good idea of what my audience is going to think of what I create. And it frustrates me when I make a video that I'm proud of and I send it to a client and they're like, hey, we want to change like 100 million things. Or like, hey, we don't really like the song. And it's like, I've already spent hours trying to find the song. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we just talked about finding music and getting pissed about it. So, and thankfully, like, I guess I have been lucky. Like, the Yeti thing, it's I sent it to them. They're like, this is awesome. Could we just change some branding? Like, I just repositioned the logos. That was it. Like, dude, that is the dream.
That's the shit, yeah.
Exactly. And a lot of the other projects I've been doing lately, Jackson Space Race thing, no problem, just good to go. So I've had a really good luck, not necessarily luck, a really good string of good clients I've been working with who have, I guess, accepted my vision right off the bat. But I've definitely in the past dealt with some people who haven't, and that's fine. I mean, at the end of the day, you're working for them, so you have to do what they tell you. That's part of it being work. And if I'm going to sit here and complain about a marketing manager asking me to make 10 changes to a video when I get to live in my van and ride my bike all the time and just make videos once in a while, then I'm full of shit. So it's not so bad, but it's amazing. Like, the feeling, it's a really good feeling working for a client who understands your perspective and trusts you for being you. And those are the clients that you need to team up with and just create badass shit with, because good things will happen. So I've been super lucky to find some of those lately. It's been a treat.
That's awesome, dude. It's sick that you've it sounds like you, like, by being a writer, by living with writers, by spending so much time with writers and their relationship with those companies and the company's relationships with the writers you're friends with and other people, that you've kind of built this like little empire and like social circle that involves like you being able to film your friends to make money. Then that money enables you to ride bikes when you want to, and then progress your career being a professional mountain biker, all the while being passionate about filmmaking as well.
Yeah, I mean, now you put it into words, it sounds right, but I definitely wouldn't call it an empire by any means. Like, any of my friends could go film with whoever. Like, Reed I just filmed his Yeti thing. He just filmed with someone else for this other video last week. It's like, whatever. Like, man, I hate controversy and beef or whatever. Like, I just try being friends with everybody, and yeah, they can film with whoever, but yeah, it's sweet that people in the past, and I know in the future, whatever, have been stoked to film with me, and super grateful for the opportunities that's presented me. It's been amazing, and allowed me to do some stuff as an athlete as well. And yeah, man, I'm just super grateful for everything. I've said that on every podcast I've done, but yeah, just super, super lucky and grateful that, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be here without the athletes who I've worked with. That's for sure.
Yeah. So you just talked about how a lot of the videos now, the companies that come to you are like, we want slow-mo close-up shots on a 70 to 200 on sticks, right? And
Yeah.
that's a lot of like the trend that's going on. So how much is the industry like is that restricting the potential for you, one, creatively, but two, also for like how much is it necessary for these companies to really like pay for new creativity and be like, oh, we're going to give Pete extra money to film an extra 3 days to get these crazy, like have someone hike up a mountain and spend 20 minutes getting the shot that's like a quarter of a second in the video. You know what I mean? Like how much do they really, do they really care about those things versus like, you know what, like we're going to make this plug and play video that shows the product effectively. Cause at the end of the day, we're just here to sell things.
I would say that there's a very particular, and maybe I just don't know about them, unfortunately, but you need to be working for a very particular company for them to be so hyped on the filming and the cinematography to like really get something next level. In my experience, I've never had a company be like, we need a next level shot. Unfortunately, I'm sure Red Bull would say that, or I'm sure you look at some of the stuff Norco's been doing lately, like the one with Bryn that Scott Secco shot. It's all like phantom. That one was super sick. Or like the one shot with Semenuk, like things like that. And I was literally just talking to a producer about doing shit like this. So it's hilarious that you just asked this question. And it's cool. Like I would actually think that, you know, as I kind of mentioned earlier with progressing as a cinematographer and things like this, these are just kind of thought processes that I'm having. Like I had one shot in Jackson Space Race video that was with a race drone. I've been trying to do the race drone stuff a bit, but it's pretty overwhelming. I think that's super next level. And yeah, so unfortunately, I haven't had the opportunity where clients be like, yo, let's like really send it on this. It's been like pretty much, okay, here's the objective, let's nail it. And I'm sure too, it's like a lot of the times, like, hey, this is the budget, you do you. And I'm sure if I wanted to, I could program in my head, like, okay, let's do something next level. But that a lot of the time I maybe play it a little bit safe. Like I'm pretty cautious about like, okay, let's make sure the athlete's comfortable. Let's not like hit it too hard. Maybe let's like space these shoots out and like make sure that like everything goes smoothly. So I would say it's been a combination of just not having a client really push for it, and maybe myself hasn't pushed it so hard. But in the future, it'd be sweet. Like there's a few shots that I could think of where I've been like, okay, that one's pretty progressive. Like I had one in Tribe with DJ Brandt. That was I was 400 mil, and it was a focus pull like all the way to the end. The whole shot's like a minute long in the video. That one shot just happened by chance, and I was like, okay, that one's pretty freaking sick. I mean, whatever, whoever doesn't like it, but I was hyped on that. It's really an amazing feeling, like creating a shot where you're like, okay, that one shot, like I know what went into that, and that's like almost feels like larger than life. And for me, I would say that's the only shot that's ever done that for me. Like I got that shot and I was like, this is literally like I couldn't have dreamed up this shot. Like it just happened. So it'd be sick to try to do more of that in the future.
It's cool though that you've even had like one of those moments where you're like, that's the fucking thing. Like that's the shit. At like 20 years old, like you have a shot where you're like, damn, like that's fucking awesome. And I've only had, I mean, just like off the top of my head, like I've had, well, one shot comes up into my mind that was like surfing. That was fucking perfect. Like perfect focus, perfect color, perfect light, like everything. That is like unique too. And especially nowadays, because well, I wanted to ask you, what do you think that just in general, the action sports, so like there's action sports films made all the time, and they basically follow in general, it's either, okay, this is about a competition. This is about an injury. This is about a competition and injury, someone doing something in like a different place, like an expedition.
Yeah.
Or this is about like a new trick that's no one's ever done before. And like, it's like, all right, on the radio, like 3, 2, 1 dropping, like,
yeah.
or montage to music and stuff like that. Like there's kind of these molds that a lot of these films, especially, I mean, it sounds like you watch things outside of mountain biking and also within the industry as well. And I do too. And I've kind of just noticed this trend of like, there's not a lot of films these days that really leave that. And it's cool if you don't really like look deep into it. And I still think it's freaking sick, but I'm just curious, do you think that, like, do you have ideas for things that are going to be outside of that realm?
I would say lately, kind of my thought process for story has been what I'm involved in. Not like, I hardly ever, when I think of like an artist, so I'm an artist that works really well when given a set box. Not necessarily box, sorry. When I'm given set like parameters, it's like, okay, we need this done. Here's your resources. Get it done. Like, okay, you have a $5,000 budget. You have this athlete, you have a week. Get it done. That's not even a specific example, but just for example, it's like, okay, well, I know I have this much money. Like, what can I do? Like, what kind of music can I license? Like, whatever. If you gave me a pencil and a sketchbook and you said, sketch up something, I can't do it. Like, I can't just like think and just do stuff. I never am thinking like, yo, what kind of story can I make? It's always what I'm involved in. So it's like, same with passion and even like when I'm filming with this thing I've been filming with Jackson, that's like our story, like what we've been doing, you know? And I really struggle with that. And that's something I've been kind of self-conscious about, and what I need to work on is like being able to dream up kind of like what you're saying, those like bigger things. So I'm not sure. I'm sure at a point, like I'll hopefully be able to dream something up like that where I'm like, okay, this is like pretty creative and sick. Like look at where, I mean, I guess it kind of fits into the expedition box, but you know, Where the Trail Ends, like 2012 was a progressive film, like 12-year-old Pete got psyched on that. So it'd be sick to build, like make something that's that big scale and that progressive in the industry. Will that day come? Maybe, who knows? But yeah, for now, it's just been kind of like, yeah, whatever's going on around me, more documentary rather than like creating the story. That's just not really something that I kind of, like I'm saying, how my mind works. But dude, super insightful of you for noticing that in the film. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I do my fair share. I like to think that I do my fair share of research and like watching all around the industry. And I hardly come upon, which is completely fine. I can't talk shit on these people because they're freaking amazing and they make crazy things. But like, for example, like a transcendental film, like Free Solo.
Yeah.
You talked about in another podcast how that kind of like took the world by storm, and you want to make like a mountain bike equivalent someday.
Yeah.
Like how that could be cool.
Yeah.
But I just think that, well, I'm curious. I mean, you just said that you can't come up with ideas out of the bag, but what Free Solo did was it took, like, you can give the log line of Free Solo and any person outside of the industry of climbing can understand it immediately. It's person climbs El Capitan, which is like a world renowned thing without ropes. And that's all you need to know. And I struggle. Like, I mean, I've the question I just asked you about stories that you may want to create that are outside of those boxes. I really struggle finding those. And in a way, like, I guess you could say that Alex Honnold did something like it was a trick that have never been done before because he free soloed.
Yeah. Well, that's an example. Like, that story wouldn't have been possible if the athlete hadn't wanted to do it. And I would say, like, man, who knows with mountain biking? I mean, I know some people who want to do some really gnarly shit, man. And it's like, it's not like I'm going to be like, yo, dude, you want to do a 200-foot double flip? Let me make a sick video about it. It's like, that has to be athlete driven, you know?
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm sure Free Solo is that way. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Jimmy Chin and Alex are tight. Like, I'm not sure how that concept for that film came about, but I have a feeling that was an athlete driven thing for sure. But who knows,
and Jimmy was just there to capture it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like what you mentioned, like I would just love, and I guess kind of Clay did it a bit with Death Grip. Being able to make something that is so mainstream that it's on Netflix, or like that. For me, it's not the views. If it's not the views, not the notoriety, fuck that shit. It is, how can you take mountain biking and expand it? Like, how can I create something that someone's gonna watch and go buy a bike the next day because they're like, I want, like, mountain biking is the sickest shit ever, and that's not from a marketing standpoint. Like, I just love riding so much, as you can tell, and it's like, how can I, with my riding or my films, create something that's so encapsulating that someone is like, I want, like, exits out of the tab on their Google Chrome or whatever, and is like, I want to buy a bike right now because that makes biking look so fun. And like, how can you make a film or a video that is going to like reach millions of people who would never ever even just watch a bike video and be like, I want to do that. Like, that is what like gets me out of bed. Like, I'm like, that is the sickest stuff ever. And I don't know whether it's a story or a trick or whatever, but it's insane. Like, dude, who knows who just hopped on Netflix one day? It's like, oh, Death Grip, like, sure, I'll watch that. And they're like, dude, that's so sick. Like, I want to be a mountain biker. Like, dude, that's so powerful in my opinion. Like, that's badass. And dude, I'm sure like the climbing industry had such a massive surge after
Oh my
Freestyle.
God, dude.
Dude,
I cannot
so
imagine.
many people had to have watched that film and then gone climbing that weekend. Dude, how sick is that, man? Something that a collective group of people did helped the entire industry, like helped the entire sport of rock climbing forever. That is
On a global
badass.
scale. Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that is like the most powerful thing ever. Like, dude, life mission for sure. So sick.
I'm gonna have you seen Jamie O'Brien's vlogs? Quick side note.
I actually, yes, briefly though, but one popped up on my YouTube recommended yesterday.
Yeah. In the bottom right of the corner, he has like a psych counter because he says psyched all the time. And I'm gonna have a so sick counter on this podcast.
Yeah.
So sick.
Fuck yeah.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, dude, I think that you're definitely aligning yourself like how Jimmy was friends with Alex, and then Alex was like, hey Jimmy, I'm gonna fucking climb this thing without a rope, and he's like, all right, I'll film it.
Yeah.
And you're aligning yourself because you know like everyone in the industry and you're freaking there. So when someone comes up with that transcendental idea, you'll be there to capture it, which is dope.
Hopefully. I definitely don't know everyone. I thankfully know a good amount of people though.
Yeah. I mean, you do know, I mean, if you think about it, you probably know most, not most, but like more than the average, even like within the industry, because you shoot with so many different companies. Like a lot of riders stay with the people that they're sponsored with, like for like shoots and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
people that are can't like ride for Canyon shoot with people that ride for Canyon, and like competitions is the exception because everyone comes to know each other. But it's cool how you get to move between all of it so fluidly.
Yeah, super lucky.
But so there's a lot of transcendental like athletes within different industries. So John for surfing. Well, all right. Let me know if you disagree with these people. So John for surfing, Alex Honnold for climbing. Do you know who Gus Kenworthy is?
Yep.
Gus Kenworthy for skiing.
Yep.
Who would you say is the biking equivalent, or who could be the biking equivalent?
I know exactly like who I think. I think that the films that Brandon has made over the last 5 years, hands down, like regardless of the actual writing, but the way he's gone about sharing it with Rupert and how it's just taken the industry by storm, essentially. Like every time a video comes out, like there's something innovative in it, and everyone watches it, whether you're a roadie or not. Like, I don't give a crap. You're gonna watch the new Semenuk video.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty amazing seeing that kind of come to play. And there's other people like, yeah, Brett kills it, Zink kills it, Tom in a few years I think will be like doing gnarly shit 24/7 as well. But I guess as it stands now, I'd say Brandon and everything he's done in the way he's captured it has just been incredible. And you look at John too, like to compare the two, I'm sure for me, I was able to get interested in surfing and get attached to it through the stuff John's done because of how good he and his crew have been about sharing it to a wider audience, and Brandon's done that similarly. So yeah, it's been sweet. Like you could watch Life Behind Bars and like be attached to the lifestyle. Then you find like Revel in the Chaos and like all this shit. It's like same for John. It's like you find 12 and you like get super attached. Then you like watch View from a Blue Moon. You go and watch Done. You watch his other YouTube shit. You watch Tokyo Rising, like whatever. And it's just like you can get attached to this character and that can be your entrance into a sport.
Why do you think that Brandon and Rupert have fulfilled that role? Like what are they doing that other people either may not have done, or like why did they break the mold? Why do you think they did?
I think that they break the mold continually. They're in Utah right now. They're 2 hours away. Continually and have in the past. And that what they're doing is it's totally them. How can I describe that? Their videos are just unique enough. The writing is top tier. The writing and the filming are top tier, and it's on a regular basis. It's not one video a year that has 3 never before done tricks. You watch Laps and he's freaking half cabbing a drop, half cab barring a drop, half cab whip a drop. 3 at the time in 2016 when that came out, like 3 never before dones in one video. And there was like he did 3 down whip to whip and like a whole bunch of other gnarly shit. It's like, dude, he's just taken like being a gnarly dude and like taken it to another level. And then Rupert's filming is just like perfect. Like not perfect, but it's freaking amazing. And it's just like just the 2 of them getting after it. No other bullshit. Well, there's other people involved, obviously, but at the core, it's the 2 of them getting after it. And I think that's why they've been able to be successful. They've been just killing it regularly, not getting too in over their heads. And yeah, dude, it's been incredible what they've done for mountain biking. It's amazing.
Yeah, 100%. And I agree that like the whole Semenuk thing where it's like everyone drops everything when he posts a video or like a new Raw 100 or something like that. It's just it's dude, nuts.
Take his latest Raw 100. Wall ride to switch down.
Absolutely.
Like whatever.
Insane.
I guess that's like technically not never before done, but no one else was doing that shit. Okay, that he does the 3 between the pillars, the hip flip down whip. So it's like kind of like a flare down whip. Manny backflip, fast plant 3X up, which he did Joyride 2016, but hasn't put in a video. And the 3 inward manual. Okay, that's like 5 things like no one else on the planet can do. That's I'm sure there's other people who could manual backflip, but dude, he manualed for like 60 feet and then flipped a 20-foot drop. That's fucked up. Like that was
Absolutely
the biggest mic drop ever.
Yeah. Dude, that video was fucking insane. And it's so cool how Rupert and him just have this like, I mean, same with like, you can compare like Parallel C and John, like Space exactly. Dude is just like a mic drop of that industry. And it's the same thing whenever John comes out with something, it's like everyone's like, holy fuck.
Tokyo Rising came out and I was just waiting for it to become available on Amazon.
Yeah. Did you like it?
Yeah, I would say it was maybe, I didn't feel like, no, okay, I loved it. But I love the 12 series so much. I watched like 5 episodes last night. I just love that series so much that nothing will ever surpass that in my head. But Tokyo Rising was incredible for sure. No question.
What do you, John real quick, just because I'm a geek too. But so View from a Blue Moon, thoughts?
Yeah, incredible, of course. Like, just cinematography and everything involved. And, I mean, I feel like the biggest noob watching surfing. Like, I watch mountain biking and I know every intricacy of the tricks, but surfing I have no idea. But it's just so incredible. The music, everything involved in that film is amazing. And the film before that, Done, I'd watched every night when I was editing Tribe. Like, I like that one even more than View from a Blue Moon, maybe. Everything they do is incredible. I'm the biggest fan ever.
Yeah, dude, they're nuts. But so you briefly, I just want to talk to you about this because I think I found it interesting when I started filming surfing. So you said that you feel like a noob when you watch surfing and like well, you may like you feel like maybe you'd be a noob when you start filming surfing, right?
Yeah.
But the thing that I learned personally that you should also, why I should encourage you to film surfing is because, so I grew up with mountain biking and skiing, and I know those industries not as well as you do. I know skiing maybe, but like you fucking know mountain biking too.
Yeah.
Like you're like, oh, Brandon did that. Like, oh, the only time Brandon did that trick besides laps was in his 2016 Crankworks around. I'm like, damn, like I don't know that's anything, dude. But what I will tell you is that there's a really important characteristic of going in and not knowing anything, because I went into surfing and I involved myself with people that have been surfing their whole lives. And I see surfing almost like from the perspective of someone who doesn't know anything about surfing. So then I can make something about surfing that someone who doesn't know anything about surfing can find more interesting, because I don't know anything about surfing. I haven't done that yet, but
it's a theory.
It's a theory, and I feel like it's kind of true. Like if you don't know anything about something and people also don't know anything about something, and if you make something for those people, then people outside of the industry can maybe go in and find it. And I mean, you could argue both ways, but I just find that to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's a good perspective for sure. You should make this thing you're chatting about.
It's and I know, dude. All right, real quick, I'm gonna rant about how, all right, so surfing's dope to film, but the issue is that, like, all right, you can go to Moab or like freaking Utah or Virgin or whatever, and you build something and you film it and it's there. But it's like surfing's like, oh, it's like the thing you built or like the thing you want to film is just like moves away and it goes away. Yeah. So it's like you have to wait for perfect waves, perfect swell. The people have to be there at the time. You have to wake up early and like get out there at 4 a.m. and like make sure all these things are dialed, and then you can't like fuck up the focus or like any of that stuff. And I found that surfing is more than skiing too, because skiing in a way is like, okay, it's a POW day, you need to go film POW, but like it's the most like production wise, like I couldn't imagine making like View from a Blue Moon, dude. Like because everything has to line up. Like they went to Namibia in Skeleton Bay, and they had to like make sure that the waves were going to be good. All the crew got there, like nothing got fucked up. And I actually met with like Vincent Cuny in a cafe, and I got
no way.
Yeah, dude, he's so sick. But I DM'd him and I was like, hey, can I like talk to you? And this was before I did podcasts, and I was like, I just want to talk to this guy and pick his brain for an hour. And I met him in Oceanside and just sat down and like face to face, just talked to him for an hour straight and just like asked shit, this fucking constant. And it was the coolest thing ever. And he's so cool. And he just did a thing with Bobby Brown, who's a skier, like last year.
Yeah.
And I love like his filmmaking style is so sick. Like there's this, I don't know if you saw it, but the ender of the project he did, it's called, oh my God, wow. See, this is why I'm a failure. Anyway, he did this project, and the ender is, have you seen Euphoria? Or like, do you know the song Mount Everest by Labyrinth?
Yeah.
Yeah, the ender was to that song. And it was just like the fucking most baller. Like Bobby Brown did a triple in the backcountry, and it was just, I don't know if it was the ender, but it was just nuts. And yeah, that guy's freaking sick.
Dude, that's so sick. You met up with him. That's so badass, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I want to get him on the podcast and just like pick his brain for 6 hours about View from a Blue Moon, because I've seen that movie. I'd be willing to argue I've seen that movie more than anyone else has. Maybe besides the editors.
Huge statement.
Yeah,
that's
dude,
hilarious.
I fucking love that movie, and I'm definitely, I don't know, I'm maybe kissing ass a little bit, but they're freaking sick. So I respect
That's awesome. So sick.
So sick counters at like freaking 30, dude. Damn.
Yeah, there you go, man.
How'd it feel buying a red?
Really sick. Yeah. So sick. Yeah, that was a pretty monumental thing for me. Like, not to be like, oh, it's so sick, like whatever. But like, no, like dead ass, like, dude, that was such a huge goal all through high school, trying to figure out how I'm going to buy a red one day. And yeah, I got hired for a bunch of work and I could buy a red, and it was insane. Like, yeah, sickest thing ever. regardless, dude, I don't give a crap about forums talking about, oh, this camera's better than that camera. That camera is fucking sick, man. Like, I don't, dude, if you're like, oh, I'm going to use a Sony instead, it's probably just, no, I'm not going to sound like a pretentious dick, but I'm not going to be like, oh, it's because you can't afford one. Like, but dude, it's the sickest camera ever. I'm so grateful to have one. Like, in regardless, you can be like, yeah, you like rent them or whatever, but just having one and being like that extra motivation just to be filming all the time and like owning one, dude, it's 2 feet away from me. I can see it. It's like the sickest thing ever. Like, and I got a bit of a deal, thankfully, which made it possible. And yeah, dude, it's just the best thing ever. I don't know. I think it's rad. Right now I have a backpack I have to set up all the time. Besides my grab a lens or two for my photo kit, but it's my Red, which is the Dragon X, got the 6K upgrade, so I can do 6K at 72 frames, which is like my favorite frame rate. And then I have the Sigma 18 to 35, Canon 70 to 200, Canon 10 to 22, and then a Rode VideoMic Pro, the higher end one. I have a set of lavs, and then my Mavic Pro. Not the Zoom one, the one with the Hasselblad, but you
Mavic
can still
2 Pro.
Yeah, Mavic 2 Pro, but you can still kind of zoom because that has full field of view or HQ or whatever. If I looked at the settings, I know what I'm doing. I just don't know the text of it. That backpack I filmed in New Zealand with for 5 weeks. Like, dude, it's the sickest backpack ever. I can do long lens aerials. I can do long lens. I can do wide. Like, it's whatever. And I have a super sick Manfrotto legs and a Miller tripod head, and it, dude, like for gear, and then I have a Movi M10. Like, for gear wise, like, dude, it's everything I need. And I've been getting weird too. I got an ND for my tilt shift that I use for photos. I've been doing some tilt shift video, which has been getting a little zesty. But yeah, like the Red and then that backpack, like, in my opinion right now, it's so hard to beat. Yeah.
Is there what's your dream film setup, and have you shot anamorphics?
I haven't shot anamorphics. I would say my dream film setup would maybe just be a higher end Brain than I have now. I've been thinking about maybe selling mine and trying to get a Gemini for low light stuff. That'd be super sick. To have a Gemini, which for any listener who doesn't know, that's just a higher end Red Brain, which is like the camera body. So yeah, like a Gemini. And dude, I don't know about the whole like cine lens stuff. Like, that's badass, but I really want the Movi Pro. I want the Movi Pro so bad. Like, so bad. The Movi Pro and a Komodo, like, just for Movi would be, like, mind-blowing. Like, right now, putting my camera on the Movi and then going to sticks and stuff is a huge pain in the butt. So, not a huge pain in the butt. Like, the other day I did it like golden hour shoot, went from sticks to Movi, like kind of last minute, and I like got it done before we lost light, but it was stressful. But yeah, dream would be like a little bit of a higher end Brain, second camera on the Movi. And I'd really like a 135 f2 lens, Canon L, not anything special. But I really want that lens. It's like $600. I should probably just buy it. But that's a sick lens. I got to use Rupert's once on a shoot we did together last December, a year ago. So yeah, and I haven't shot anamorphics, but it would be a treat. For like, if I'm doing like a commercial or something a little bit more studio, like not mountain biking, or like maybe mountain biking, but in a controlled environment, I'd love to. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, dude, that would be risky as hell, freaking bringing an Atlas anamorphic to like Rampage or some shit.
Dude, that's what like Harry and Liam do. I don't know if you know Harrison Mendel and Liam Mulaney.
Yeah, of course.
Like,
yeah,
two really sick cinematographers and just filmmakers. And they have, I'm not sure if it's Atlas, but they have an insane anamorphic kit that they put on Liam's cable cam. It's gnarly, man. They're so badass. Those guys are killer.
Damn, that's sick.
Yeah, it's so rad.
So in the interview with Bike Mag, you talked about how your favorite moments to capture are the unseen ones, where like a lot of the time the riders are off the bikes and just doing other things. Are there any that come to mind?
Yeah, I would say I have a few moments that come to mind. I guess I have a few photos from the morning. So Red Bull Joyride 2019. I guess most people would never even really know this, but practice was a huge shit show So that first morning, not first, but the morning of finals was like really the first time anyone got to ride because it was so windy. So I have a lot of photos from that morning that are like kind of like really sick, like a few of like Emil riding in his hoodie, like as soon as the sun came up, or like that was that whole event was like Brett Emil, would Brett win Triple Crown, whatever. I have like a lot of moments of that that are pretty special to me, but I think more so than any of those, and this moment happened after I did that interview, is this time last year, right after I did that shoot Rupert, which is a YT video, I got to shoot stills on the TGR Accomplice Utah segment with Cam, Tom, Jackson, and Ethan. And there was this move that Cam wanted to do, which he didn't end up doing, but he was working towards it, and it was super high consequence. Kind of pretty much do or die. And he was FaceTiming with his wife like 10 minutes before he was going to go up and do it. And I just have like these photos of him laying in the side by side, just like on FaceTime. I have never even posted the photo. It won't go anywhere. It'll probably stay on my hard drive. But I just like that moment, like seeing that, just like talking to your wife and kids before you do something gnarly, and just having like a photo of him. I have like a photo of him, like phone in hand, and he's like laying back and his eyes are closed, and it's black and white and just so moody. And like that is something no one would ever really, like if they watched the video and he stopped the trick, you'd have no idea, you know? And that's just so cool to like be there and witness that is so gnarly, man. Like gives me chills. Like that's gnarly shit. And being able to capture that, and thankfully being tight with the athletes allows you to do that. And have been lucky to be in positions to do that. And it's just really cool being able to share something like that. I can't think of a photo I have that really, I guess something that was cool would be like the photo I have of Brett, Red Bull Rampage 2018. I was working for him, and I like have a photo of him fisheye like holding the trophy. That's something that like requires coordination with the athletes to be able to get, not necessarily behind the scenes, but that's photo got like 50,000. That's like the most liked photo I've ever shot. I think like 50,000 likes or something. That would be like the only really well-known photo that would fit into that category. But just anything that involves like kind of capturing sort of the out of the box, like most people always just look at action photos, and just having something that's a little different is super special. And special to be able to like have shared that moment with the athlete. Like when I send an athlete a Dropbox and like having photos like that, I know that there's photos that they'll save that they'll keep for themselves and not share. And I don't care if they don't share them, whatever. It's like, I just shoot photos because I love it. And it's cool, like being able to document something that's so meaningful to someone.
Yeah, man. I think it's interesting. Like, I think telling that story, like I wish I could have seen like Cam Zink, like talking to his wife. Like that's heavy, bro.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
That's
fucking gnarly.
so
Gnarly. Dude, it was dark storm clouds too. Everything about it was fucked up. Like paramedic, dark storm clouds. Like, dude, it was gnarly, man. It was really gnarly.
It's cool. Yeah, that's insane that you were there to see that too. Like that's a fucking unique moment, especially like Zink especially is so well known for those just heavy fucking things, and like something that guy is scared of that he like is considering doing, and then he like calls his wife like he's like going to war or something.
Yeah.
And then like being there and capturing that, like that's fucking nuts.
Yeah, dude. It's really, really gnarly, man. Yeah. And I don't even know, like, I don't know, like, if 10 people listen to this, 100 people listen to this, whatever, you would probably never hear that story ever. I don't think ever. Like,
why is that?
Know? I don't know. It's just like type of shit that doesn't get shown. Maybe this is a start to some new idea, but like, it's so easy in mountain biking to not show those moments of I don't want to say weakness, but not weak, but just, yeah, the in-betweens don't get shown so much. And that was the whole idea between like passion and whatever, but yeah, I don't know. It's interesting for sure. And I think it's also very personal. I mean, I hope Cam doesn't, I don't think Cam wouldn't care that I'm talking about this right now, but I was just with him 2 weeks ago. Shooting some more stuff in the same exact zone where we were doing that. And so I've seen like his workflow and kind of how he goes about stuff. And yeah, it's cool. I think that there's a really cool opportunity coming that I know particularly about that will kind of come about more springtime. That will show a lot of BTS, so this kind of stuff that people will be hyped on. That's about all I can say about it. But there's some sick stuff coming for the mountain bike industry for sure.
Fuck yeah. It's good to hear that kind of stuff is coming.
Yeah.
So you did I read an interview that you did too with the Patriot Ledger, which isn't that your local
Dude,
newspaper?
you dog,
right?
man. Nice one.
Hell yeah. I'm doing my job. But
Yeah.
so you talked about how sometimes you feel lonely with all your friends in college while you're living in a van. This may have been before you really found like your other friends that you live with and like spend time with now. But but I find this interesting because like nowadays, especially, there's this idealized reality that aligns with a lot of the elements that you currently embody. Like, and what are some of the negative aspects to your job and lifestyle that people may not know about as much?
Yeah, man. I think that's sick. You say like people idealize or whatever, because holy fuck, man, it's not that sick that all the time. It is not sick. Trust me, dude. I have COVID right now, and I'm sitting in a van, and it's 30 degrees in the middle of Virgin, Utah. Like, if I wasn't doing this podcast, I'd just be watching YouTube, drinking LaCroix by myself, which, I mean, that's pretty sick too. But, but man, when I was like, I remember when I first started living in the van, I will never forget after Rampage 2018, I was just out here by myself and just going stir crazy, man. Like, I have no one to talk to. Like, this is gnarly. Like, human, like, interaction, and that's why the whole pandemic is screwed up, because, like, suicide numbers are up or whatever. People aren't talking. Like, dude, human connection is so powerful. That's something I've learned so much over the last few years, and why I'm so grateful for all my friends. And it's so rad. Like, thankfully, I know, like, probably 4 or 5 people I could FaceTime right now, and they'll pick up and just say what up. That's super powerful. I never really had that. And yeah, man, like, it's sweet. Like, man, if you want to like come and hustle or like whatever, it's cool. But dude, you're like, it's up to you to get paid. It's up to you to meet the right people. It's all on you. Like, that's the thing I struggle with the most is, you know, living on the road and kind of creating this life. Everything's on you. You know, that like, if something goes wrong, it's probably something you did, which isn't that sick. Video doesn't get 100,000 views. Return on investment's not good. That's your fault for the most part, in my opinion, or like in my experience. You are cold because right now I'm cold. My heater doesn't work. I fucked up the install. Clearly, it's on me. You know, it's just so much. It just comes back to you. And yeah, man, it's sick and it's easy, like you're saying, to idealize it. Like, oh, I'm just going to go live on the road and it's going to be awesome. Maybe other people have other experiences, but man, dude, it's pretty gnarly. Like, yeah, dude, it's like you have to like really want it. Like, I've definitely broken down and been like, dude, I don't know how much longer I can do this before. But then the good days are just so good that you forget about that. It's a total trade-off. And it's, yeah, I say this to everyone. It's not always as good as it looks from the outside. And that's something I'm super bad about on social media as well. As it's so easy just to make my life look, you know, perfect or whatever. But, you know, realistically, people are like, oh, your van build's going sweet. It's like, okay, well, I'm broke as hell and I have COVID and I just ruined, because of this COVID, the biggest shoot of my career that I was on. And I can't get a text back from this client or whatever. It's like I have so much more shit going on that I'll ever post about, because I don't want to post depressing shit. Maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe I should post depressing shit. I don't know. But then it's like, oh, then you lose followers. And it's just, dude, everything about society is pretty gnarly right now. And I don't want, and like you can tell, like I'm a really happy guy and really just try to be stoked all the time. So I hate talking about negative stuff. But yeah, man, like my life's, I have a really good life, but I definitely deal with some shit. That's for sure.
Did you ever almost want to quit?
Yeah, for sure. Dude, 2 days ago, I had a freak out. Yeah, dead ass. Dealing with a stupid heater I was just talking about. I had a massive freak out. I was losing my mind. I don't think really, I would say, to be honest, actually, this heater literally has been killing me. Dude, it's making me freak out. Besides that moment, though, I wasn't like, I want to quit, but I was like, fuck this. Besides that, the thing is that before, so after Rampage 2018, I was in my van and I was super, super depressed, like super over it. And I was like, screw it, I'm going to drive all the way home. I drove from Utah all the way to Massachusetts. See, now my parents live in a house that's so small that they live in a 1-bedroom apartment. I can't do that. I don't have a choice. Everything's on me. I have a storage container that holds some of my stuff, and I have my van, and I live on the road full time. That's it. It's been that way for the last year and a half. So even if I want to quit or I ever have thoughts of that, which I really don't, I don't have the choice. Sure, I'm sure I could rent a normal house or whatever, but my brain is just doesn't work that way. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm living in my van, I'm gonna make it happen, and that's the end of the story.
Hell yeah, man. It's interesting how you say how it is all up to you, and being so locked in kind of prohibits you from really being able to leave in a way.
Yeah.
And that's pretty intense. Like, that's a pretty gnarly situation that you've put yourself in. But I think that's how,
sure.
Like, well, I mean, being uncomfortable like leads to success. Like, I mean, the alternative would be you like attend a 4-year college or university or do whatever. And like, I'm doing that, and I'm noticing how I like me being comfortable. Like, theoretically, dude, I could fucking sit on ass all day, and I can not even go to class or go to class, but just mute the damn thing and then not listen and watch Netflix. And I'm like going to school and I'm a student. So that's my job. But like, you have like taken that upon yourself to be like, no, fuck that. I'm going to send it and do something so sick. And
I'm glad you see it that way though. Cause like for me, hearing what you're talking about sounds pretty sweet right now.
And I mean, yeah, like the grass is always greener, and like you also like you want what you can't have. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I look at people and I'm like, well, fuck, like what am I doing? Like they're like, I mean, you're fucking killing it, dude. And you're definitely an inspiration for me, man. But you kind of just gotta keep on living on, you know, like even like through the hardships and shit.
For me, I think this is something I say this to my parents, but I've never really said it publicly. For me, I can almost count. Like, okay, part of what gets me excited about getting hired for jobs is getting to sleep in a real bed, which sounds so lame, but I literally just, like right now I have this van designed so it will have a full-size bed, just not set up yet. But it's like, even in my old van, I slept in a tiny bed. I had to crawl up fucking fetus position. Like, when I rented a house this summer with Jackson, it was so small I was on the couch. So it's like, dude, like even the times, like basic stuff like that. Thankfully, my new van has a shower, so I can shower. I used to go like a really long time no shower, which is gnarly. Like, just basic necessities. Like, for me, the fantasy of like living in a house is insane, man. Or like being able to have a hot shower. Right now I haven't hooked up hot water yet. Like, being able to have hot water is like insane to me. And that's like part of being on the road. Your priorities just become so different. I'm not like, oh, I want the newest iPhone, but like, oh, I want the newest iPhone or whatever. It's like, shit, man, I better get my hot water going first.
Oh my gosh.
Or I better get my hot air going first. I'm in puffy jacket and pants right now. You know, it's pretty funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's crazy how your priorities shift, and also how they're different from like the normal person's. Like for me, it's like, oh, like, well, not really for me, but for a lot of people, it's like, oh, like I'm really hungover and I'm just like want to watch Netflix in my warm, cozy bed, in my king size bed with my Fritos, and hang out all day in my bath in my hot tub. And I mean, I could do that if I fucking wanted to. So I can't talk about those people because I've done that too. But you almost can't.
So no, I literally can't.
And it's funny. Well, in a way it's good, because like I have the temptation of being able to fuck off and not do anything, where like you can't fuck off. No. So then it forces you to do the things because you can't not do the things.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dude, it's a dangerous game, man. It's a dangerous game.
It's a dangerous
game. And then
game.
You get a really big snowball going.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's sweet, man. It's good. Like even today, it's like, you know, I wake up at 7:30. I'm like, shit, I'm cold. I better freaking get going so I can warm up. And then, I'm up digging. I do some emails. I had a few phone calls today. Doing a podcast with you right now. It's good days, man. Life's good, but yeah, your priorities are a little weird for sure.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's sweet, like hearing your side of things. Like, man, one day you'll be able to come stay at my house and it will be sick, and I'll be like, yo, remember that time I was on your podcast telling you about how I wanted to live in the house?
Oh, fuck
that'll
yeah.
happen one day.
I love that, bro. That'd be sick. I appreciate that. Thanks for the invite into 20 years.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, 5 years.
5 years. Damn. All right. I like it.
No. You got to dream big, but I don't know if that's a little big.
No, yeah. You got to dream big. No, it's not a little big, bro. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Another question I had for you was, so I've had this before where you're filming one of your buddies and essentially they eat shit and they're down, but you're filming. What's the first thing you do? Do you keep filming, or do you drop everything and go help them out?
Depends on the crew. Thankfully, a lot of the stuff I do lately, there's a lot of people around, so I can kind of keep filming. But I think the most recent time that this has happened would be Proving Grounds last year. Casey, who I was hanging out with every day up until that event, crashed. And I remember I just saw her case and I just started sprinting down the hill. It was fucking gnarly, man. But man, I've been, knock on wood, pretty lucky with having people get injured that I'm around. I've been super grateful for that. But yeah, I would just say it's more just reading the scenario. If there's 10 people around, you don't want it to be so hectic around the athlete that it's like too stressful for them. But if it's just you and them, yeah, you're on it, So it's just always circumstance, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I've had that situation, and I've talked to one of my professors about a time that I don't know if it was him or some crew that he worked with, but it's like in a bigger version of that. There was this crew and they were filming this family who was trying to get across the border to the United States. And they were like trying to figure out like the legal opportunities and stuff like that. And they had to get to this appointment that would enable them to be able to get the documents that they needed, but they didn't have a ride and they had to be there at a certain time. And so the crew was the only ride left. So they had to make the decision to either A, be completely omniscient and act like they weren't there and let the story play out like it would regardless of whether they were there or not, and not take them to the appointment, and then they wouldn't be able to go across the border to like save the kid or whatever. Or they'd make the decision to film it and take them, and even though they were supposed to just be third person and not involved, that they would take them to the appointment and do it. And apparently it was like a big deal between the producers because they knew that the story would be better if they didn't make it. But they ended up taking them. But I just thought that's like the fucking craziest thing, and how film in a weird way can like determine a lot of people's lives. Like Alex Honnold, if he just went and filmed, like no one filmed Free Solo and he just went and climbed El Cap by himself, like he would not be in the place that he is, or Jimmy Chin or any of those people. Like it would have been really cool and we would have heard about it, but it would not be there. So I just think how like the filmmaker's engagement with the situations that he or her place themselves in can really like change people's lives and the world.
Yeah, dude, that's crazy. Like that story is so ultra gnarly. That's wild. And yeah, man, it's crazy. I like kind of what you're saying there makes me think about how much incredible stuff happened that doesn't get captured, and finding those stories. It's so powerful. You never know what. I was talking to a guy who made a Deschutes beer commercial, short film, 4 or 5 minutes. And by chance, one of the people who worked on the project was in Portland at a taco shop, saw somebody with a tattoo of the beer label of the beer they made the video for, and he asked the lady why she got that tattoo, and she got the tattoo because the video made her change her life that he had made. Dude, that's powerful, man.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Dude, the power of film is insane.
And to see that like that physically like changes the like that lady got a tattoo on her body forever because of that. Like that's nuts.
And changed her whole life because of one video that
Yeah.
guy had helped make. Dude,
Freaking nuts, dude.
insane, man.
Well, do you feel like, well, number one, do you feel like being a mountain biker, filming mountain biking is kind of limits you on the scope of what you want to do in the future? And how much do you want to film outside of mountain biking, number one, into the action sports world, and outside of the action sports world into like documentary, or like how far do you want to take that?
Well, I would say it's always hard, like, to kind of dream up. Like, I couldn't necessarily have dreamt where I am today if we were to have chatted a year, or if we had chatted 5 years ago. I wouldn't have necessarily pictured what I'm doing right now, I don't think. So it's kind of hard to forecast here, but I would say that I'm definitely going to hit a point with filmmaking and mountain biking where I need to start filming some other things for my own creative juices. Just burnout just happens. It's definitely something I think about pretty often, but not something I pursue yet. And then in terms of documentary and just kind of general story outside of mountain biking, I think for me and in the foreseeable few years coming, I'm so busy with what I'm doing with my own riding that it just makes sense, and it's fun to be involved like in the industry. But I can totally see like in a few years here, like at the end of the day, I love mountain biking, and I love filmmaking, but I love filmmaking independently for mountain biking as well. Like I love watching Star Wars, that's not mountain biking, I love watching other documentaries aside from anything, it's just stuff I appreciate. And I've even made just random non-mountain bike stuff working for a news station before. So it's definitely something that intrigues me. It definitely doesn't fill my mental space, but I will definitely see it happening in a few years. And I think the catalyst is going to be having the time to do it, which lately with the lifestyle I have now, living in a van, kind of what we're saying, I always have to be doing. And I'm always around mountain biking, and that's why I'm always doing mountain biking. It's what I love. But I'm sure when a time will come, and these things happen just naturally, where maybe it's when I settle down and I'm in a place for a while and I meet someone who has a crazy story and I'm like, oh my goodness, I just have to share this or something. I'm sure some catalysts like that will pop up, and it's something I'd like to jump on and get out of mountain biking a bit. This helps to stay fresh, and what you can learn from doing stuff outside of mountain biking, like what we talked about with just listening to podcasts. You can't learn everything you need to know in life from being in the mountain bike industry. And also, the mountain bike industry can't progress to heights that it is currently the mountain bike industry can't progress to new heights with just the knowledge that the people in the industry have now. Like people from the outside of the industry who've done bigger projects need to come into the mountain bike world to help these things happen. You look from like a View from a Blue Moon, that's like a $2 million video. I'm sure Unreal had a very huge budget, kind of close to that, but having like a company like Brain Farm involved and make something that's so spectacular. And no offense to Freeride Entertainment, Where the Trail Ends, all their incredible films, but that is just something that was so next level, and that took something like Brain Farm to come into surfing, So, and for me, going in and doing non-mountain bike stuff will give me access to those resources to hopefully bring into mountain biking and help bring mountain bike production or whatever it is, just help elevate mountain biking even further than it is now.
That's huge, dude. That's facts, as the kids say. Like that is, yeah. Like, I mean, I've found that too. Like I've barely done that, but like I've been more involved like in school and stuff, doing like things outside of mountain biking and skiing and climbing and whatever. And like, you learn a lot, like being on set in like a dog pound, being like, oh, these dogs are not adopted. And then you're like, oh, well, how can I incorporate what I learned about these dogs into filming a ski video?
Yeah.
But like taking that like larger, like going to like Syria, and then you're like filming in like a war zone, or I don't know if you want to do that, but like I'm just saying like bigger things. And then bringing that back to like the world that you love and you really care about is like freaking cool. And I'm excited for you to do that and then come back and make something just fucking baller.
Yeah, man, I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll happen for sure.
Yeah. You had an Instagram post on Peter Jameson, and there was a quote that said, "Don't explain your self-philosophy, embody it," by Epictetus. Do you remember
Oh
that?
boy, you really dug here. I'm opening my gram. Was it a post or a story?
It was a post. It wasn't that long ago,
I'm
but
sure it wasn't
can
that
you
long ago. Oh, here. Yes, yes, yes. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Heck yeah, dude. I'm hyped you brought this up.
Can you talk about that quote a little bit?
Yeah, okay. Before I mention about the quote, I've been super into Stoicism lately. Ryan Holiday is an author who I really look up to. The Obstacle is a Way is a book that he's written. There's another post with a quote that I had from that book that I took down because a few people talked shit for me trying to take writing too seriously, but it was just, I was just being petty about it, so I deleted it. But that quote was my phone background until 2 days ago. And that was, follow the process, not the prize, by Nick Saban, who's the Alabama football coach. And I really like that. So easy for me. I have a few particular goals I'm working towards or whatever, and it's easy for me to get fixated on those and trying to make those happen. And then I get frustrated when my day-to-day doesn't go how I want. But like for me, I got really upset working on this van, to be honest. It wasn't the pleasurable experience that I wanted it to be. It was for a bit, and then it kind of turned into a grind just because I wasn't done. And I felt like I was falling behind with my riding and where I wanted to be. But I just had to slow down and be like, okay, think about all the good days this fan will like bring, That's part of following the process, not following the prize. I know, and I'll mention some goals that I have that pertain to what I'm saying right now off air, but like I have a few goals that I'm like really working toward, like really, really hard, have been all year, and big goals. And this is just another step, and I just have to appreciate that. Maybe I'm not doing a double tail whip today, or I'm not doing a 3 whip to bar or something, but it's what I want to be doing, and I'll get there through this van, and this will help. But yeah, it's always finding the little things. But yeah, that quote in particular, and going off the Stoicism, there's an Instagram page I follow, Daily Stoics, that I really recommend people follow. Has great quotes every day. Another one I've been liking, and I don't know the exact quote, something about it's how you react to the challenges that define you, and then staying calm during adversity. And that can tell a lot about a person's character. Or it's something like adversity robs people their peace of mind, or something like this. But I've just been, it's been a challenging couple weeks for me, and it's been good having those reminders. But for that one quote in particular, yeah, man, like I kind of find there's a few people who I know, I'm not going to say names or anything, but, they'll do something for Instagram. And I'm not like that. Like, I'm not super involved on Instagram. Lately I haven't been so much. But for me, I love riding my bike. I'm going to ride my bike every day. Today, I'm out digging. I guess I didn't ride today. I've been digging, but same. I'm still, involved in that. Regardless of anything, it's like, I just do what I love every day. And that quote, and the quote you brought up, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. That was just kind of my feelings towards social media. And that was a digging post, a lot of digging. I wasn't posting that digging. I wasn't like, oh, look at this step down, or like, oh, look at this so-and-so I built. I'm going to do this to flex on Instagram. It's like, no, like Jackson, Joel, and I are going out building the most badass art in the desert that we ride. It's fucking sick, but we aren't flexing on it on Instagram. We're just doing it because we love it. And then I have a 10-page album of just badass shit that we've done that no one had seen. And then everyone's like, holy shit, this kid we thought was sleeping doing nothing, and he's just doing what he does every day because he loves it. And it's like, that's all that meant to me is, dude, it's not about what you're posting or whatever. You just got to live it, man. You just got to embody what you do. It's not, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Like, I could take this and post on Instagram, oh, go, dig or die, or no dig, no ride. It's like, no, I'll just post 10 really sick photos of stuff I built with my friends. you know, and I'm not going to flex it every day. It's just, you know, I do that every day because that's me. That's what I like to do.
Well, fuck yeah, Peter Jameson. I think that's a great way to end. Do you have anything else to add?
No, dude, I am all good. Thank you. I appreciate the time. Thanks for having me on.
What's up? You guys finished the first podcast with Peter Jameson. I hope you liked it, and I hope you didn't skip to the end just looking for the puzzle. But if you did, here's the first puzzle. I'm not going to give any clues, but the one clue you will need, and you'll understand this later, is SS1, like the letter S, which stands for a word, but I just can't say it because then you can just Google it. And then S1. So SS1. And you're just going to hear a bunch of bleeps and stuff like that, and it probably doesn't make any sense. And I assure you it's not a glitch. It's the puzzle. So good luck. Like I said, if you find it, there will be instructions at the end. And you win $100 and you get to come on the podcast. My bet is that no one will figure this out for, I think, over a month. Honestly, I don't even know if any of you will figure it out. But prove me wrong. Please, someone do. I'd love to talk to you about it. Because, yeah, like I said, I don't know if you listened to the intro, but I'm not a major in tech or anything. I just like this kind of weird stuff, and it shouldn't be too hard if I can figure it out. If I'm a documentary major, so think about that when you're struggling. Hopefully you're struggling. I know it's not too easy, but good luck. Thanks again for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed the podcast with Peter. He's a super cool dude, and yeah, have a good one. Bye.